Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So this video is going to be straight to the point, but it's going to be drawn out to other issues and other things. The main reason I'm leaving Brooklyn, where I'm at least, is because I've won. I won. And I'm not going to take competitors after that. That's like playing the Super Bowl and you win, and people still out there at the on the field still trying to play football. It's one thing to avoid a challenge, but you know I didn't avoid a challenge. And then it's another thing to, after I win, now people want to not acknowledge the win first. That's the first problem. They don't want to acknowledge wholeheartedly the win, or maybe you can't see it. If you can't see it, that tells me you shouldn't have been here in the first place. Okay, you can't see we won. I can see that I won. Can you see that I won? And the right people know who I'm talking to. All these people out here in Brooklyn, all these people out here. Listen, you can't see I won. So we got to establish this. Because what I heard this whole time from these corny people is that I'm in a contest. I'm in a contest. Oh, what's the other word? I'm in a conflict with some people, right? And it's a one-sided conflict. I made a whole video. I made videos about this. So you got to go back and see all the videos where I talked about all of this stuff. That's why I don't got time to get into it today. I never ever accepted a challenge from these people because this is God's kingdom. We already knew what we could do. I already knew what we was capable of. I knew what I was a part of from day one. Okay? So, you know, I never said, yeah, let's fight. You know, all I did was defend myself like I supposed to. And then once I seen, this is key right here. Once I seen that it was a joint effort of the Americans, then they became the enemy 7 years ago. So I was never one-on-one with any group of people. From 2019, I've been fasting against the entire community of America, not just a secret society. That's a separate fast. I got a whole fast, I say humbly, against the whole American community because they was against me. I seen it was a group effort. I seen it was a collective effort. So I never squared up with people I didn't feel was worthy of me. And the more time went by, I felt more confident that these people was worthy, not worthy to say they was in the ring with me. I was getting numbers on my own. Remind you, I'm getting numbers on my own. Child marriage, talking about that's numbers on my own. That ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Not even other Christians. They can't even say they was doing that. Hold up. Other Christians can't even say they was talking about child marriage laws in America. While these people was around here trying to assassinate my character, and these famous Christians were sitting back watching. I'm pretty sure Kirk Franklin know about this. I'm pretty sure these other Christians know about this. But they wasn't educated talking about, well, you know, America's marrying children. They ain't got the right to stand up on nobody. They wasn't saying that. They were just sitting back saying whatever else. Probably cliche stuff. But I'm the one talking the real. The one that they put through this stuff, right? So that's my numbers. That's my point. That's my numbers, right? I had numbers the whole time on my own. Let's establish this. Besides other Christians, no disrespect, there was no other Christian, no other preacher. Bishop Jakes wasn't talking about this. T.D. Jakes wasn't talking about no child marriage. He ain't never talked about the day in his life. Can we establish this? Can we establish this? Because it's certain people that they like to go run to the go-to people. And for Christianity, the go-to person is Bishop T.D. Jakes. So it's not his fault. It's the fans, it's the people, the community's fault. Where you think that's a person that's supposed to be, how do I put this in this context? This is a person that's supposed to overshadow anything that I'm doing. That part. This person's supposed to overshadow my whole existence. Not he's thinking that, you're thinking that. Jay-Z's supposed to overshadow my whole existence. Beyonce's supposed to overshadow my whole existence. Who else? Bone Thugs and Harmony Busy Bone's supposed to overshadow my whole existence. I'm calling it as it is. I'm calling it as it is. I'm calling it as I've seen the patterns. None of them people overshadow my existence because they didn't do anything or say anything about child marriage laws in the United States of America. So how can those people that I mentioned compare themselves to me? It's like wrestling, you know what I'm saying? These personas that get blowed up, you know what I'm saying? But out in the jungle, you know, I got real numbers, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm talking about. You know, people make music, some people do, you know, entertainment, whatever, you know, but that's what they making money off of. I'm getting numbers out here in the jungle. I got money from talking about child marriage laws. I got money I got cash. I don't think you heard me. I got cash. I got money from talking about this information. It's the principle. It wouldn't even matter if it was $2. It's the principle. I've gotten cash off of this child marriage laws information. With that being said, that set me aside from the pack. That means I don't fight everybody anymore. It's not being bougie. It's realizing that, you know, first the science of the fight, which is you fighting me without doing other stuff does not prove that you're just as great as me. What proves that you're just as great as me is you fight a whole bunch of people along the way. And then by the time you get to me, you've beaten people that I've beaten. You've beaten heavyweights that I've beaten. I don't see these people beat heavyweights that I beat. Oh, you know what my heavyweight is that I beat? America. And you're not going to do that in your lifetime. So to save myself self-respect, I can't go back and forth with people with no numbers. All they got is witchcraft. All they got is mind reading. I've explained this before. Nobody doubts me. Let's establish something. Nobody doubts me today. So I don't have anything to prove. See, this is what the big dogs do. Once you get to this level, I choose who I fight. I choose my battles wisely. Because I don't, and this is another reason, I don't get anything from beating you. If I beat you, what I get? If I beat you, what do I get from it? Nothing. I don't get nothing from it. Oh, he beat another random person. You beat me, you know, people gonna look at you totally different. They gonna look at you in a whole new light. Especially when they looking for somebody to beat me. But in order to beat me, you gotta do what I do. Listen, this is what a scrub don't understand. A scrub don't understand that in order to beat me, right, you can't beat me in one place. You gotta go all the places I've been. You gotta go to California. You gotta go to Florida. You can't just beat me here in New York. That's for all these secret societies. You gotta, I don't know what you're gonna do when you get over there, but you gotta go get numbers in California and be able to show us real stuff, real people you beat, real street people. You got to be street people that we know. You got to be credible people. You got to do that in California. You got to do that in Florida. And you got to do it here in New York. You're not going to do that in your lifetime because the world done changed since I did it. Since I did it, the world done changed. It's a crazy world now. It's glory to your name, Yahweh. It's a crazy world to where now you can't go to California and it's a real world. It's all this crazy stuff going on. Keep in mind all the conspiracy with all the wars that's going on. Keep that in mind too. So how I look at it is the doors is already closed and the numbers are already in. And if you ain't done nothing up until this point, we don't give too much credit to you doing none, putting up numbers now, because especially out there, because the world done changed. Do we acknowledge these numbers? After COVID and so we got to make sure it's not fake. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure, we got to make sure that ain't fake. Where people out here making up numbers and making up fights and making up stuff. That's real. That's real. That's real. It wouldn't even surprise me if people made up fights, conflicts and stuff to try to make up numbers and things and make themselves look greater than they are. So understand that I see the beauty of beating you at secret societies is you can't go find an equivalent of beating you that you can show us for yourself. Once I beat you, it was a double whammy. I beat you and you're not going to be able to do anything like that. You couldn't do the same thing. You couldn't beat somebody, you couldn't beat yourselves like I beat you. Meaning, in other words, you couldn't go get up numbers comparable to how I beat you. You got to go find somebody to fight you like you fought me, to compare yourself to me. If I beat you like this, so you can just walk up into me and just fight me and then beat me, based on what? Based on a credibility that we don't acknowledge, based on something in your mind about yourself that we don't care nothing about. We in the real jungle. We don't care about no names. You know, you gave yourself this pass, like you could just waltz up into my life and beat me in one situation and it's not gonna happen. Ain't nobody gonna acknowledge it. You know why? Because specifically back to you, I beat you too many places for you to try to pull up on me in one place. You can listen, bro. I beat Illuminati and Freemasons in Florida, California, North Carolina, and New York. The last time I lived here in Queens, I beat you. Let's not forget, on Astoria Boulevard, I beat you. So New York shouldn't even be sitting around acting like this is new to them. That's the retarded part. You already heard about it. Okay, so then you knew I beat them on Astoria Boulevard. Okay then. So here's the thing. This is either a contest or a war. If it's a war, then say it's a war, then we're going to shut it down. But if it's a contest to see who's most competent, and you the one that used the words contest and game and all of that kind of stuff, right? Right. I wasn't even using those words. But if that's what you're using, if that's the context, then I've won. Because I've proven to be more competent as an opponent. That's all you're trying to do. When you play basketball in the NBA, they're not trying to kill each other. They're trying to see who's most competent and go home. Right? Right. I've proven, if it's a contest, I've proven to be more competent than you. Now it's time to go home. Now, if it's a war, then we'll just shut it down. But you was the one saying it was a contest. You the one saying it was a game or whatever. Okay, so if that's the context and you're not trying to flip it on to something else and flip it on to something else, if that's only what it is and that's what you're talking about, then we won. I proved to be most competent. Remind you, I'm one person. I beat all these people. And you think once we get up to World War III, I'm gonna let people run around and ride around and act like they doing something now? This is my time to shine. I'm not gonna play no games with nobody. This is a time where people should be congratulating me and saying, yo, saluting me, not I have to deal with somebody else they brought in here. And that's the situation. They brought somebody else in the building, put them right next door like I'm stupid. This person, I had to call the police on twice, right? The managers and everybody in this building know what the situation is. They still left him right there like I'm a lame. You don't listen. Once it's a conflict or a situation and you got a dangerous person, why you gonna leave him right there? Oh, you waiting for him to grow on me? Or I grow on him? Do I seem like that type of person? When I've already heard this person say stuff that are out of character, I've already heard this person call me a pedophile right next door at room 19. Oh, I heard him. He don't think I heard him. I'm smart. Yeah, this person called me a pedophile. Okay, but he ain't never seen me a day in my life with a child. See, that's words you kill for right there. See, that's how smart I am, and this is how stupid that person is. Okay then. Okay, so they left him there. No, I'm showing you why I'm leaving this facility. I'm showing you why. They left him there once they felt like he was a problem for me. Once they felt like he was some kind of problem, he ain't no issue to me. But they left him there for that purpose. Okay, if you look me in my face and the police come up here twice and you look me in my face and you smile in my face as to act like you got me, which I don't see how you think that, and you got World War III on the horizon. But anyway, you try to knock on the door. If that was me, this person wasn't even coming to the door when the police came to the door. If that was me, they would have torn the door down, bro. They would have demanded that I came out the room. This is what I'm talking about with this inequality. Sometimes even in the gay and lesbian and tranny community, me as a heterosexual man, I can't sit in a room and not comply with the police. And the police just knocking on the door. Let me know that's being real. Me as a straight man that's perceived to be straight, I can't do nothing like that. A gay person can open the door in the face of the police and close the door and sit in the room. Now let me do that. You think they wouldn't tear the door down? Of course, they're gonna go get the key and open the door. They got the keys to all these doors. They would have went to the door and opened the door, and the police would have came in, and they would have talked to me. So then when you see, my point is this, when you see the police gives these people easy rides, you see the staff in this building give people easy rides, but this person is throwing literally like parts of a toilet, like the clay parts of the toilet and parts like that kind of material, throwing that on cement ground, crashing things everywhere. But they letting him do this on purpose to play with my mind, right? Then why would I stay here? You see the punchline? Why would I stay here? To prove what exactly? That I can sit here and have people crash around all night long? I'm too old to prove that, buddy. Now, when I was younger, I might have would have proved it. I got more numbers. I don't have to prove that. You just want to see a fight over and over again. And like I told y'all, man, let me tell you something. These people ain't even relevant. In 2026, no secret societies is relevant because there's too many real wars popping off for us to pay attention to any of this, right? We're not paying attention to this. Okay, we're not paying attention to it. I'm not finna sit here and listen, and you get to beat me. One day you might get a sucker punch, not him necessarily, but somebody. I'm gonna sit in the same situation where one day you might win. You think I'm gonna play that kind of game? I won, for sure, because now you got World War III, basically. You think I'm gonna sit and let somebody play with me until they win, bro? like a little kid at an arcade game. Give me more quarters, Dad. Give me more quarters. I want to play again. I want to play again. Like an arcade game. Give me more quarters, Dad. I want to play again. That's how these secret societies are. They want to play again and again like a little kid at an arcade game. It's like, and so you have to realize, okay, first, another dynamic you look at is they always like the black man to entertain them like I'm some circus animal. Mind you, I'm not getting paid off this. They might be. I'm not. How much interest you think I'm gonna find in this? I'm not getting any money off of it. I'm not getting any reputation off of beating these same type of people. I don't get any new reputation. Everybody see me drag these people a million times like this. Same type of person. That's how I know what he's doing. That's why I know why he's there. The same signs are there. I know what I'm talking about. This person was intentionally sent up here to be in a room next to me because we started winning with World War III, and they put this person next to me to try to put pressure on me. I'm telling, listen, I ain't no new jack, man. That's why, see, if I wasn't aware, I would have just kept stepping to this person. Once I knew you were sent on purpose, why am I going to confront you? Because all they waiting to do is to put me in jail. That's all they waiting to do. Listen, these are not street people by no stretch of the imagination. They don't play by street rules. I already checked this person, so I won right there. Once I step to you one time, that's on the strength. That shows who I am. That shows my credibility. Now, from that point to me, because you didn't comply like street people comply, and you thought you could just take advantage of being a tranny or whatever and just do what you want to do, I don't even consider you a street person. So I'm not going to play by street rules. I'm going to treat you, this is the complexity of me now as a grown man. I'm going to treat you as a citizen. I'm going to treat you as a citizen and call the police on a citizen. That's all I'm going to do. And draw a line in the sand between me and a citizen. Just like you would do with a white man. You ain't gonna listen, you ain't gonna do, in some situations, you ain't gonna fight every white man. Once you perceive he's not a street person, you have to treat him as a citizen. If he's playing games with you and you call the police. If you got a white man that's playing with you, you're gonna play street ethics with him. But you perceive that this man is not a street person. See, this is where some of y'all mess up. You got one fighting style. I got many fighting styles. I got legal fighting styles. I got tons of fighting styles, intellectual fighting styles. Once I perceive in you that you're not a street person, I'm not going to use that style. Some of y'all got one style, fighting style. That's why you're always in jail. I don't play like that. If I know you're a white man, why am I use a street style on you? Some you don't even understand. You don't understand street codes. You don't understand when I checked you. I darn sure checked you. Right? So you don't understand that. Okay, so then I'm going to switch up the styles. Okay, you ain't a street person. You ain't a street person. You like a white man to me. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to play everything by legalities. Legalities. That's all I'm doing is legalities. You disturbing the peace. See, that's the charge that you would get. Oh, well, some black people don't know about that charge. Some black people don't know about that. Disturbing the peace is a charge. Okay, so this person told me, oh, well, you can't say nothing about somebody. See, this is the person on that person's side, low key. Oh, you can't, he told me, oh, the manager here, oh, you can't say nothing about a person making noise and moving around. Oh, that's called disturbing the peace. That's what that's called. When the police come here, that's a disturbing the peace charge. Oh, you didn't know that? And don't let me take recording and audio of it and they can apparently hear it. I could have done that. I could have showed people audio where they could have literally heard all the knocking on the wall and all the noise. That's disturbing the peace. You got to know your law, buddy. You got to know your root. You got to know your laws in your country. And I ain't going to sit here and let somebody drive me crazy, knocking on doors and knocking on walls and driving. And you know what I'm saying? And then I've been here longer than they have. That too. Listen, I'm an OG in this whole thing. Ain't nobody been here longer than me. Even that person over there on the other side. That person in that other room over there, he ain't been long here longer than me. That the person in that other pod over there on the other side, across the hall, none of them ain't been over there longer than me. This whole thing was empty. I was literally the only person up here. None of them ain't OG to me. I'm just saying. So then on human understanding, on technicality, listen, bro, listen. I've been here longer than all these people. I ain't finna let you play with me. Soon as you disturbing my peace that I had before you got here, listen, I can see if I walked into this. I walked into confusion and drama, and if I can't regulate on that. But if I was here first and I had a certain kind of amount of peace, and you walked into it, you got to yield to what this environment is. You got to yield to the environment. That's what a real man gonna tell you. No, you got to yield to the environment. That don't go on around here. Okay? Talking is one thing. Crashing and bamming on dog walls, they ain't going on. So once staff allows that, I'm showing you rules and regulations in this situation so you can understand it from spiritual warfare and intellectual warfare and warfare in general in this situation. Once you got staff that keeps that person right there, they don't move the person. The police came in and said the person should be moved from next door to me, right? Staff keeps them there like it's a game because they lames, they part of these secret societies, right? So they left him there on purpose, thinking he's effective, and he's not effective. Because once I leave here, Brooklyn gonna have a problem with everybody in this building. I'm telling you what you get, the problem you already got coming. And it ain't no way you can act like a gay boy, because that's not what you was acting like. You was acting like you was a real nigga. That's what you was acting like. Okay, so that's how you gonna be treated when you go outside. That's how it works. You don't get to play these lanes and then you act like, oh, I'm a gay boy, I'm just hanging around. Nah, well, you should have been like that with me. That's what everybody gonna say. You weren't acting like no gay boy to the prophet. You was acting like you was 100, like you wanted smoke. And he out here in the streets with us, he getting respect out here and you don't. And that's back to numbers. Once you see I get respect out here, you got to say, hold up, no, that's our job right there. Now, because we ain't going to let nobody, we know that, and we respect this prophet, and he be out here, you know what I'm saying, and he be regulating and checking people, and we done seen him do it. And he opened his mouth out here in these streets, but then we know he got a little tranny situation in there, you know, and they all on his side and everything, but they trying to beef him up like he doing something. But they trying to make it seem like he 100, but they manipulating and put him in that position by letting him do what he could do. Let him do that, right? They of course, man. You can hear all that crashing all the way down the stairwells. We got a door right by the stairwells. You can hear all that noise and crashing. You can't tell me you don't hear it. They trying to create a problem because they losing, bro. They losing. I don't play games. I don't play any games. And I don't think they understand that yet. I don't think you understand what the context of that is. I don't engage in any kind of foolishness, right? None. Okay? That's my situation. And so when I know America is letting a tranny do what they want to do, and just like a female, it's the same thing, bro. If I do something to that person, they gonna look at it like a female. I thought about this. They gonna look at that person like a female, and look at what I did is like a hate crime. You can't win. You can't win. Even if that person is willing to fight you as a person or whoever they want to be, it's still, if I get the best of that person, it's still gonna be other people on the outside that's trannies and gay people that feel like they feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna give me extra attention if I get the best of that person. They're gonna give me extra attention if I get the best of that person. Besides, if that person felt like they took their butt whipping, or they asked for it, or they put themselves in that situation, other people gonna still form their own opinion. Like they feel they gonna give me extra attention because I broke that person off. You can't win, in other words. That's just like a female. If you beat a female in a fight, it's still gonna draw other kind of attention to you. Just because it's a female, even if she calls that on herself, even if she put hands on you, right or wrong as men know, even if she put hands on you first, and that happened in the relationship, people still gonna insinuate certain things towards you, like you're a domestic violence type of person. But then you can explain it as a black man, and many black men have been through this, where that woman put hands on you first. She put hands on you first, right? But then she act like a victim by the time it happened to her. See what I'm saying? See, one thing I've learned in life with these females, while we talk about it, is once they put their hands on you, it makes it 100% easier for you to put your hands on them. Once they put their hands on you, it makes it 100% easier for a man to put his hands on this person. Because now you don't see this as a woman, this nice, sweet woman. You see this as a person that's challenging you like a man. That's why you don't supposed to be with no woman that put her hands on you. Once she put your hands on you, you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know if you're going to snap. You don't know. You're a man. Once a woman is putting her hands on you, you're supposed to leave. Because you are a man. Okay? You don't supposed to be disrespected. If you are her protector, how can she be putting hands on you? I'm talking about as far as rules and regulations. You supposed to be protecting her. How she can put her hands on you? It's a breakdown of the system. The family system. If I'm the one that protects you out here in these streets, then I'm going to jump in front of these dudes for you. For anybody that try you, right? How you going to put your hands on me then? And I'm the one that's going to jump in front of anybody and jump in front of you for anybody. For any situation. See, it's a breakdown of the system. Once that system break down like that, man, you can't be with a person like that. That's dysfunction. That's what dysfunction is right there. Dysfunction of the family system, where you with a woman and she put her hands on you, but you got responsibility to protect her, while she done put hands on you first. It's a breakdown of the system. It don't hurt us as men. It hurts our ego. It bruises our ego, and at least I'm gonna say it like this: it bruises our ego within that relationship. Where how you interact with that woman, as far as your ego, your self-worth, your self-image with her, and how she sees you. Make sense? Like, it bruises that. You know what I mean? And that's why you don't supposed to allow no woman to put their hands on you, because you're supposed to be her protector. If you her protector, ain't no reason she should be putting her hands on you. But see, people think it's cute, and we let women get away with it because it ain't really hurting us physically. But it's still a violation, and you could snap from that violation. Maybe not the first time, not the second time, but just the tension in the air and the violation, you can snap. It don't gotta hurt. It's just the intention that's going to make you snap. That's somebody putting their hands on you. That during the time when you angry and everything like that, that's what's gonna make you snap, not whether it hurt or not. That's all it takes. A lot of men in jail for that reason right now. You know what I'm saying? If the woman didn't hurt you, it was just that you was angry at that time. She smacked you, she hit you or whatever, and just off the violation of that, while you was angry, you lashed out. You reflexed. Your reflex was to defend yourself, basically, or to retaliate. So see, somebody that's supposed to be a woman shouldn't even be challenging you, because see, soon as if I was to do something to a tranny, what the first thing they're gonna think? Oh, she was a woman, but she wasn't playing a woman position. That's the punchline. This person next to me is supposed to be a tranny, but they're not playing a tranny position. They're not playing no woman position. See, I'm convinced that there's some people who hide behind that as a con game. They only using looking like a woman as a con game so they can hide from the police, they can hide from the community, they can get these passes in life. It's a hustle for some people to dress up like a woman. It's a hustle. It's not that you identify as a woman. It's many black people that use it as a hustle. That's how smart I am. I peep game, bro. You know what I'm saying? People use it as a hustle. That's what they do. They use it as they ain't really, I mean, they ain't all the way in it. You feel me? Because if you was all the way in it, I'm gonna put it like that. If you was all the way in it, then you will understand the positive attributes of a woman. How to behave like a woman based on what women get respect for. Women get respect for things like being lovely, being lovely at all times, being peaceful, being humble. You know what I'm saying? Being able to bear the weight of the family. They get respect for things like that. But if you acting like a man, how you gonna get respect that a woman get? You ain't gonna get respect that no woman get. So these be the same people that want to be treated like a woman, but they run around here acting like a man. Yeah, especially in the black community, because even black females do it. I just told you. They be walking around, want respect as a woman, but you acting like a man. It don't work like that. And then I can show you a woman that's so sweet, ain't no man to put their hands on her, including me. Because she remind you like your mama, right? You know what I'm saying? She, like, if she's sweet and nice, you gonna walk away before something happen. You gonna walk away. And see, if I was abusive, listen, a person that understand that, my style is this. I dismiss a female before I put hands on her. I dismiss you. A violent person, a domestic violence person ain't dismissing you. They gonna keep you in the house. They gonna control you once you there, and they not gonna let you leave sometimes. They gonna hold you almost against your will. If I dismiss you as soon as it's drama, that tells you I'm not a drama person. I'm not a violent, toxic person. If I tell you, yo, you gotta leave. But people looked at that as toxic instead of looking at it like I'm dismissing any situation that'll be a problem. And that's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? So my track record is with a female that people would act like I was toxic with. That was when I was over there in Queens. Man, I was dismissing her out my apartment, and she kicking my door to the point where my locks on my door don't even lock. She was kicking my door, trying to get back in. Most dudes would have did something instantaneously if you would have kicked their door. Then my door was messed up. I still didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's unheard of for toxic men that practice domestic violence to let you kick their door after you dismiss them and tell them to leave your apartment. And they don't do nothing to you. That's perfect reason to do something to you. You think a domestic violence person ain't gonna take advantage of that? Of course he is. So I can show you time and time over and over again more reasons why I'm not a domestic violence person. I'm not. I'll dismiss you. I'll tell you, no, yo, you gotta go. If you're in my apartment, you gotta go, bro. Sorry. I'm sorry. It ain't working out. And so that's what I was in the habit of doing. And that same person would tell you that. I dismissed you too much for me to be considered a domestic violence person. Because anytime you got a problem with them, it don't matter how small or big, what they gonna do? Dismiss you or hit you? They gonna hit you. They ain't gonna dismiss you. They ain't gonna tell you to leave their apartment. If they're offended, they gonna hit you right there. They ain't gonna tell you to leave. That's the best thing you can do. That's what a healthy person gonna do. You gotta leave my apartment. So that's what I used to tell my female. Something ain't working out. She arguing. She saying something crazy out her mouth. You gotta leave. But see, people, when they looking for a problem, they'll listen. And when they blames themselves, they ain't gonna understand what a real man's position is, what kind of men they even dealing with, what kind of man is even in front of them. They ain't gonna understand none of that, man. If you tell me you dismissing a female all the time, you can't be a drama person, because a drama person gonna keep that person in that situation. They ain't gonna let them leave. They gonna keep arguing with them and put hands on them. That's what's gonna happen. If I dismiss you, that's saying I don't want no problems. Just leave my apartment. And I done that in nighttime. I done that in daytime when that person could get on a bus or whatever. But I'm not gonna just if it's any time, I don't care. Like, yo, look, man. It's better that than you be in jail or I be in jail. And luckily in that situation, I never went to jail for that person. See, I became a grown man dealing with these people in these situations and these women. And I know, listen, man, you can't stick to no street codes with no female, bro. That goes even to a relationship, and you can look at it outside and parallel to the situation. You can't stick to no street legalities and technicalities and street codes with a woman that you're in a relationship with. If she out of pocket, you gotta almost call the police, right or wrong. Now you see what I mean. There's some situations you can't stick to those street codes. You can't stick to those street codes with no female. This how dude end up in jail. You try to talk to a female like a real nigga, right? And you trying to clarify things. Your first mistake is she ain't from the streets. So she ain't, all that stuff you talking is gonna go in one ear and out the other. And this is the biggest problem. She can understand that, but she don't value that. See, in order to value street principles and wisdom, you have to value that. You have to value the streets. You have to go through an experience with the streets. You got to go through something in the streets for you to value these kind of rules and regulations. Otherwise, you don't care about it. You gonna step on it. You don't care about it. A female gonna step on it. If she ain't never came from the streets, she don't care nothing about no street rules and regulations. So it ain't no need to talk to her about that. That's what I'm trying to show you. It ain't no need. I'm telling you, 2026, I'm saving you a lot of time out of jail, bro. Ain't no need to talk no street politic or street principles with no female. Cause she don't value that. She could totally understand and just sit there and look at you and still violate you because she don't value street wisdom. Everybody don't value that. And so when they don't, guess what you do? You don't use the same fighting style. You switch it up. Okay, because you ain't gonna get nowhere. This is what men make. This is what street dudes and black dudes make mistakes. You keep playing that same style, bro. She's not getting it. She don't care about it. She don't value that. So guess what you gotta do? Guess what you gotta do? You gotta switch fighting styles. Okay, I'm gonna treat you like a citizen. I'm gonna treat you like a citizen. I'm gonna have them pick you up like an ignorant black person. You're going to be an ignorant black woman in the back of a police car. And you can say, I'm a snitch. I don't even want to hear it. Because when I try to talk to you about street principles, when I try to talk to you like a street nigga, it went in one ear and out the other, and you did not value that. So I don't want to hear nothing about you talking about the streets or the crimes or rats or a nigga is a rat or nothing. Because when I talk that to you, you did not value that. I esteemed you to not be a person that value that. Right? Okay, so boom. So then we ain't talking that. You know what we're doing? I'm gonna treat you like a citizen. I'm gonna call the police and have them get your ignorant black blood out of my community, out of my apartment. That's what you do. You do not sit there and try to have street codes and ethics with somebody that don't value that. Once you realize they don't value that. See, me, if you talk street principles and ethics to me, I'm gonna sit there and listen. I'm gonna be attentive to what you talking about from a street perspective. And because I value that. And you know the type. You the type, right? So you gonna value that, right? But everybody don't. That's the time you live in right now. Everybody don't, bro. And that's how old head need to hear it. See, I'm a young nigga and an old nigga. Because I'm in that sweet spot. I'm at that sweet age right now. Where I'm young and old. So I understand both sides, right? It's some people, man, they think being a street nigga or a real nigga is washed up stuff. They think that's old. And they just do what they want to do. They rat on people. They do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you got old niggas that, you know, they don't realize that. And you try to hold to these codes with these other people. And it ain't even no need to do it. Because they don't value that. They can understand and do not value that. And that's all that matters. Once we realize they don't value with their actions and their words, street wisdom and street rules and regulations. Once we realize they don't value that, you don't give them that fighting style. You switch it up to legalities, where I'm calling the police. Because that's who you are. I seen that as that's who you are. So I ain't going to talk no street stuff to you. See, this is where a lot of black men messed up. You keep da 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 da. You don't know where I come from. Exactly. She don't know, so it ain't no need to do it. See, this is how you know you can be a cultured man. You can go to different cultures, because I ain't gonna keep talking. If I was around a woman, let's say from Germany, right, and then she try to turn up on me because she learned from these Americans, but we know you ain't from the streets or nothing, but you try to turn up on me, and I keep these street rules and regulations to you, right? But you let it go and we're here out the other, blah blah blah. You don't care. You still respect. You still mocking me. Everything. Okay. Boom. Listen. Say no more, because you mocking a person that holds street wisdom and information. A dangerous person, right? But even though it's dangerous, guess what? I'm gonna take that totally away from you. Now I perceive you to be a citizen. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna treat you like a citizen. I'm gonna hold you to legalities. You disturbing my peace, so you gotta leave my apartment. We ain't finna talk no more street stuff at all. No. We ain't finna talk nothing about the streets at all, cause that's not you. And see, that's the best of the real niggas. Listen, you don't get that fight style. They not even worthy of it. You know what I'm saying? You throwing all this stuff out there trying to talk. This dude's right here in New York right now, late night talking on a Friday night, trying to talk to your female halfway tipsy. You know what I mean? I already know, man. And guess what? She ain't gonna get it. And even if she do not value that information. She don't value rules and regulations. So why kick it to her? Why even act like that's how we gonna figure it out? We ain't gonna figure it out that way, because you're not from the streets. You don't value that. Okay, so I ain't even gonna give that to you. What you value is your freedom, right? you value what these white people talk about, right? Okay, so then I ain't gonna call the police. That's what that'll wake up a suburban girl. Oh, I'm gonna call the police, because this is the only thing you gonna respond to. This is the only thing that's gonna wake you up. Okay, so then I ain't gonna talk no street stuff to you. It ain't no need to. And see, that's how you know I'm in my right mind. I know how to switch up street fighting styles. See, right now I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in all street principle fighting style. That's the fighting style. But I use California from what I got from California, because I know a New York dude gonna think like a New York dude. So then my advantage is I've been somewhere you haven't been. So I'm gonna use that fighting style, which is California. Why I'm gonna fight you with a New York style, even though I could, because I lived in Harlem, East New York, I lived in Bed-Stuy. I can fight you with that. But why not take advantage of the fact that I done been somewhere you haven't been and use that fighting style? See what I'm saying? So you gotta know what fighting styles to use. Some people don't. They don't know what fighting styles to use, bro. I'm not no idiot. Soon as I perceive in you that you don't value street principles and things like that, you're a citizen to me. Point blank period. You're a citizen. And I'm gonna treat you like a citizen. That's how I'm gonna treat you. So yeah, man. It just comes to a point in time where those who was involved gotta get what they deserve. Like for the secret societies, all these people out here in America, y'all following behind people who talked against me, that should be handled. And it's just it's rules of the land. See, if we was in Africa, man, I'm gonna say how I want to say it. My brother would have been dead, bro. If we was in Africa, he would have been dead. They would have went and found him and killed him, because we find out you came out here really about a female. This is an older brother. This ain't no younger brother you was tagging along. He was tagging you along. In other words, whether you want to be arrogant about it or not, he knows you better than you know him. You think you know him. He knows you because he was older than you and seen you and understood people before you understood people. So he had a longer time to understand you than you had to understand him. Right? You came out here for a woman, and you telling everybody else like somebody victimized you. But the truth is, that's not what this was about. And even, I don't care what happened to you. I know what it was about, and that's what's most important. Listen, you can have random information that's true. It's true. It could be true. But we're going to be more concerned about what this really is all about. When we find out that you put a rumor in the family, you went and told people in your family that your brother had sex with your wife. You actually put that in the minds of other people. We know that's what this was about. And it ain't no man that will respect you in the real world we live in. No. Ain't no man gonna respect you. I don't care if he police, military, punk, man, masculine man, brawny man. Ain't no type of man gonna respect somebody. Not because of your brother, but because of your lack of self-respect. If a woman liked your brother, this is the punchline. You gonna come out here and say something else happened? You mad about something else? If you mad about your wife possibly having sex with your brother, you gonna come out here talking about something else? Or you gonna be man enough to say that's what I'm mad about? I ain't even mad about nothing else. I ain't even really know. Cause how we know? Cause you ain't said nothing before. So you ain't even really mad. So it points right back to what I'm saying. You wasn't mad about nothing else. You ain't have no problem with it. Let's keep it real. No matter what happened, you ain't have a problem with it, did you? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You was mad about your wife. And self-respect would say, okay, I'm going to get rid of her. And I ain't going to go out here arguing and fighting with no man if she was attracted to another man. That's for my respect, for myself. See, maybe you wasn't old enough at that time to understand what self-respect is. Self-respect in this context is this. If my wife is attracted to my brother, and I think they had sex, I definitely ain't gonna go and have a child after I think that. You had a child with her like a sucker, just as if you was trying to prove that that's your woman to me. Maybe that's what it was. But you don't have to prove that to me. I knew that was your woman, right? Okay, so I don't have that. You don't have that to prove to me, right? You have it to prove to yourself that that's your woman, right? Well, that's your hang up, ain't it? You're not sure, are you? Okay, that's your hang up, right? Yeah. Okay, you ain't have to prove nothing to me, little buddy. So when you thought she was having sex with me, that was before you had a child by her. Let the whole community know. That was before you had a child by her that you thought I slept with her. So then when you thought that I slept with her, why would you go and have a child by her after that? I wouldn't have had no kid by her if I thought she slept with my brother and she was attracted to my brother and even he know it. I knew it too. Okay, so then why would you have a child by her? So you see what happened? The cutest brother by most people's standards. Most people consider me the pretty brother by most people's standard. I just got attention. When me and him was together, I got attention over in family and outside of family. And people just, in fact, girls would want to talk to me and that he went to school with. They would ask for my number, his number, to talk to me. And I would talk to girls over him that should have been talking to him, but they want to talk to me. So people, stuff like, oh, yo, hook me up with your brother. Girls telling him to hook them up with me. How you think he felt? Pretty girl too. She just wasn't on my level. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't supposed to be. She was young, and this is how you know I ain't no predator. She was kind of young. We both were children, but she just wasn't on my level, and I just didn't find no interest in her. She wasn't able to hang out and do what I do, kind of live. At that time, I had a little leeway, a little freedom to go out. She couldn't really move around, so I lost interest. But she was attracted to me over my brother. He went to school with her. She should have been trying to holler at him, right? She saw me when me and my brother went to his school for like a little pep rally type thing, right? So me and him was walking around at his school just hanging out, right? And so his girl, this is when he went to Wilson. So his girl, Wilson Middle School in Charlotte, this girl named Jada was attracted to me. Light skin, green eyes, brown hair, everything. And she liked me, right? She went to school with him. You don't think that's going to affect how when he sat down and thought about it? Dang, these girls was trying to holler at him. They wouldn't even holler at me. It was more than one like that. Where they would it was almost like what girls go through, where a dude would say, yo, hook me up with your sister. Instead, it was girls saying, yo, hook me up with your brother. And this happened on more than one occasion. So as you can imagine, as a growing boy, when you're a child, you start forming worldviews about yourself and your family as you're growing. So it was easy to see that women were attracted to me over him for whatever reason. Now, with that being said, I'm not the type of person to think that every person is going to be attracted to you, and that's what keeps me humble. Ain't no person going to like everybody. I mean, ain't no one person going to attract every person. It's impossible. So you learn to go with those who love you, those who like you. You don't try to attract everybody. You don't even go after people who don't like you. And some people get off on that. I don't go after people that don't like me. I don't go after people that are not attracted to me. So you see, I'm not a conceited person. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I was always perceived as more of the exciting brother, the outgoing brother. This is what made my brother form his worldview also of me and him compared to each other. When my aunt from Atlanta, she was living in Atlanta, so she was in the big city, and when she seen us as kids, she said, this is the outgoing brother right here, talking about me. And she was right. I went to New York, I lived in New York, I lived in LA, I lived in Florida, I got a son down in Florida. She was right. Whatever she saw in me as a kid, she was right. She saw me as a kid and said specifically, he's the outgoing brother. He's the outgoing brother. And he told this story many times before. This was in his mind. You know what I'm saying? But now he got this complex of me seeming like the outgoing brother, but he's not. But you can just be yourself, right? You don't have to be held to that opinion. You don't have to let that opinion form your reality. And I never acted like that. I didn't pay that no attention. He was the one that was bringing that up all the time because it was in his mind. You see what I'm saying? But I did nothing to form that opinion. I did nothing to make her form that opinion of me. And it was just how it was. You know, I'm going to keep it real. It's just like the Jackson 5, okay? Michael Jackson was the standout brother. It's no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Jackson was nothing like Michael Jackson. We know that. And Randy and all them other family members that we don't even know their names. We don't even know halfway know their names, right? Right. Especially if you're my age and younger. All you know is Jermaine Jackson and Michael Jackson, right? And Randy. That's it. Randy Jackson. Now, the old school, they might know all them names of them boys, but I don't. All I know is Michael Jackson and Randy Jackson and Jermaine Jackson. And what Tito, that one too. That's it. That's all I know. And Janet Jackson. That's it. Okay. So obviously Michael was the standout brother. You can't make them equal. It's just what it was. Michael was the star. Michael was the one that was really out there in the world and everything and everywhere, and everybody knew him. And that's that. It's just what it was. And so in family, among siblings, it's always going to be like that. You're going to have sisters. One of them are more beautiful and more stand out than the other one. You're going to have brothers, and one is more stand out than the other ones. And that's where the jealousy first starts. But you ain't going to figure it out because you the stand out brother. You ain't thinking about you innocent. You goofy and dopey. When you're young, you ain't paying no attention to nothing like that. But it's going to be the person that go in the room and think about that stuff. Like people saying he the most outgoing brother. That's what started making these kids have these kind of thoughts. Like they want to rival that person. Like they kind of, you know what I'm saying? Some other little player hating stuff, jealous and stuff. See, that's where them first thoughts start happening. When family make the mistake of saying stuff against the child to make them feel differently. You know what I'm saying? To make them feel less than. Not being cautious about that. Well, she should have told me that and not really said nothing in front of him. That's how you do it. You know, if you feel like, oh, you're the outgoing brother, right? Okay. Or just, I don't know, man. But you know how black families are. There ain't going to be no censors, man. People just going to say stuff. And then she was one of them strong, overbearing kind of aunties. Damn tight. Just say what she feel. That's what she everybody got one of them type of aunts. That's how she was. She just say what she feel. Yeah, he the outgoing brother right there, just saying it all like that. So, but I didn't walk around like, you know what I'm saying, because I've always been cool. And one thing is for sure, that would have been corny to me to walk around like I'm the outgoing brother. I mean, how far do I take that? Especially as a teenager. I mean, how far do I take that? So, you know, that's why I would track as the beginning what struck in his mind, something like would make him think differently of himself with his brother. You see what I'm saying? That's what took that innocence between me and him. Well, now he looking at something that I got that he don't got, or at least somebody else making it look like that to him. You see what I'm saying? And that's what did it. That's what did it. Because in how I know is because he brought that up more than one time. So that's in your mind. I'm not thinking nothing about that because I really didn't even like that family member that much. That's the main reason why. I didn't really hold in esteem many things she even really said, even though she said that, you know. But he held that in his mind. You know, that was something in his mind. He didn't like the fact that he was really brown skinned. He wanted to be light skinned. He idolized light skinned people. He didn't really like brown skinned people. Me, I was attracted to dark skinned girls. He kind of liked light skinned girls. But I always had dark skinned girls that liked me. Chocolate, dark skin like that. Not brown skin, dark chocolate. So I always had chocolate girls that liked me. And brown skin girls. A couple light skinned girls like me too. But I gravitated more towards, just with my history, dark skinned girls. So that's my history. You might not know about me. See, once you realize who I am, and I tell you the real story, now you can see me for who I am. And see, one thing that us as black people know, if a dark-skinned girl attracted to you, you can't be a fake dude. Am I the only one to feel that way? Because I know where I come from in the South. If dark-skinned girls like you, that means you got to be real. You know what I'm talking about, right? Because and I don't say this with no disrespect, because some dark-skinned girls, some light-skinned girls, they used to depending on their looks. While dark-skinned girl is more because how some people gravitate away from it, or how they might demonize her skin color, right? She gotta fight harder for who she is as a person. She's gonna be more real at a young age too. She's gonna be more authentic, and her mom gonna tell her to love herself because she see that she dark skinned and going out here into the world. It's some people that just will, treat her a certain kind of way. So with that being said, dark skinned girls kind of get more aware of themselves more quicker because of how they might get pushed away from society or how their parents may teach them. You know what I'm saying? To be proud of your complexion, be proud of your black skin. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, think about it. I ain't gonna attract no dark skinned girls if I'm a bozo. I ain't never seen my brother with no dark skinned girl. Because like I said, some light skinned girls can be kind of fake. You know what I'm saying? Because they just rely on their looks. They ain't gotta have no backbone. They ain't gotta have no soul, no spirit, no funk. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm just letting you know the difference between me and him. I attracted dark skinned girls. That's all I can say. I ain't never seen him with no dark skinned girls. I brought a dark skinned girl to the house. You know what I'm saying? When I was 16, that he seen. You know what I'm saying? I had dark skinned friends. I'm just saying. I'm probably, I was usually the most light skinned boy. Everybody was darker than me that I was around. Everybody. I was always the light skinned dude. So I'm just saying, I'm just letting people know. You know what I'm saying? My friends were dark skinned. I ain't trying to gravitate towards no light skinned dudes or no corny stuff like that. I just went with those who liked me. That's it. So I had like dark skinned friends, everything like that. So it's just like, I can show you my life, but I can't show you his. Because I brought my friends to the house. You know what I'm saying? My homies came to the house, smoked weed, when we was young, spent the night, stuff like that. You know how people want to spend the night. I bring my girl to the house. My female that I'm chilling with, she come to the house, spend the night. That's as a teenager. See, I was doing that kind of, so you can see how normal I was. I'm bringing girls to the house as a teenager, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He was never like, that's why I'm telling you, I didn't realize he was jealous or nothing like that. But see, like I said, he didn't really like being brown skinned. Me, I wasn't hung up on being light skinned or something like that. I wasn't never hung up on that. I never was conscious of it. Some will say I never worked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just work who you are as a guy. Not like working it over others, but I just never worked what I had as being light skinned. I just wasn't conscious of it. I really wasn't. I guess that's why I always got friends and stuff. Like, I didn't think about stuff like that. And I still don't to this day. I'm colorblind. I'm colorblind to myself. I think that's the way you're supposed to be. But I think my brother, he was kind of, he didn't like being brown skinned. So see, he had these hang-ups about his complexion, his appearance. He talked a lot about that with my mom and stuff. Like, he didn't really like how he looked. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just his weight. It was his complexion and everything. Now he gonna embrace it because he now is a man. You learn to embrace yourself and look around and you realize black is beautiful, right? But he wasn't like that as a child. That's what you don't know about him. He did not like being his complexion because everybody else was lighter in the house than he was. So you either embrace that. My mom made him feel confident about that. Over and over again, she always made him feel good about being who he was, like a good black parent supposed to. Like I was telling you, back to black women, a good black female, her family's gonna make her feel good about her complexion in a world like America. So my mom was no exception. I heard many times how she upheld him being brown skinned and his complexion and how that's beautiful. She expressed it many times. But this is one thing is for true. If you have a hang up about it, about how you look, nobody can help you. Not even your own parents. Your own parents can't help you if you got a hang up about anything about yourself. If you got a hang up about it, nobody can help you. Nobody can help you. You gotta embrace yourself and love yourself. And he didn't really love himself. I'm telling you the truth. This is things you don't know. I'm the older brother. How you gonna think I ain't got nothing to tell you? That's what you should have thought about. Okay, well, let's hear what he got to say, because he the older brother. Well, let's see, because he gonna have more to say. He gonna be more complex. He gonna have a lot to say. We can't be arrogant and just think we know these people. This is his older brother. I want to hear what he got to say. He didn't love himself when he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't love his complexion. He's not going to tell you these things. He did not like his complexion. He liked only light-skinned girls and light-skinned people. He didn't like no... I ain't never seen him point out a brown-skinned girl or a brown-skinned woman. Not always light-skinned. And he wanted to be light-skinned. He wanted to be lighter than he was. He always idolized people that was light-skinned. Me, I liked everybody. You know, that's just me. That's me though. I just liked everybody. You know, so like for example, we used to like Bone Thugs and Harmony. So he liked the light-skinned Bone member, Busy Bone. And because Busy Bone is so unique, and which that's the first thing you're gonna notice about him, is he the most unique Bone member. If you unique, far as being unique, yeah. But so I like Busy in the East 99 album because he had a very different voice. He had like an accent that was different from the rest of the Bone members. You didn't know if he was Asian. I didn't know what Busy was at first. I thought he was like I didn't know what race he was. I think a lot of people was like that. Then he had a different accent. So that for a kid, that was just really, he had this really mysterious style. He had this accent, and they was rapping fast. See, on the East 99 album, that's what made Busy Bone like really different. I like Busy when he on the East 99 album, but by the Art of War, I like Crazy Bone. From the Neighborhood Slang, that's the song that really got me into Crazy Bone. Once I heard Neighborhood Slang on Art of War, I was a Crazy Bone fan from that time. From that time on. And he was brown skinned and Busy was light skinned. But it is issues that you know, where, you know, in the world. Even Busy talked about it in his album. Don't let the light skin fool you. For the ghetto media, don't let the light skin fool you. For him to say that lets you know that one statement that it's an issue in the community. And so even I wondered at times that maybe even Busy was going through something because he was light skinned. It's something that people go through in the South, you know. But I don't think that was that situation. You know what I'm saying? I think these were street dudes, and I think that would have been suspect for them to even be thinking about something like that. I don't think that was ever an issue, but you never know, you know what I'm saying? Because you look at the stuff like the Temptations, you know, that kind of these groups, and the light-skinned dude, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And he stands out because of that. Because remember, it was one time when in the 80s where the light-skinned look was all the rage for these girls, you know. So, but anyway, I started out liking Busy Bone on the East 99 album because I had that before. I was in the Bone before my family, my brother, anybody. I just took a chance on Bone one day because I already had a cousin that got me into it with The Love of Money. That was the first song I heard, was like The Love of Money with Eazy-E. So then and I was already an Eazy-E fan, so I grew up on NWA. So I grew up on Ice Cube, NWA, all of that. So it was more that Eazy-E was on the song with these dudes that was rapping fast with this style. That's what got me. That's what stuck in my mind. Like Eazy-E with these dudes, and it was just, you know, I guess many people from my generation was put it like that. Eazy-E was with these dudes, and they had this little style, like, and then you gonna equate it. The good thing about that song coming out the way it did, or Bone coming out the way they did with that song For the Love of Money, was that it sold people on Bone being gangsters, so it wouldn't be confused. So that's how we interpret it with Eazy-E. We interpret Bone through Eazy. So now I'm listening to these dudes that I'm equating as gangster as Eazy-E. So I'm listening to them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are gangsters like Eazy-E. You know what I'm saying? So then that's what made it more interesting. Like, these dudes just rapping like this, and they gotta be gangster like Eazy-E, and they got this little style, these little styles and stuff. That's what made it so good. Cause they were interpreted through Eazy-E. If that wouldn't have happened, I think Bone would have been almost like considered like a Milli Vanilli. Like, are these real rappers? Are these real thugs? You see what I'm saying? It would have been hard to sell them as thugs. Even though they came from Cleveland and everything, you still gonna kind of feel like it's Milli Vanilli. And then they sang it, and see, they was doing stuff that was taboo at that time too. And so for them to be interpreted through Eazy-E or filtered through Eazy-E was the best move they could have ever made. Because that's how we filtered them through. That's the lenses we saw them through, was through the lokes of Eazy. You know what I'm saying? That's how we seen Bone, through the lokes of Eazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it started for me. I started listening to, because I already listened to Eazy-E. I grew up on Eazy-E. So then when these dudes came out with this song, my cousin let me hear this song with Eazy-E, and I'm just waiting for the Eazy-E part. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And then you hear Eazy-E, and it's a cool song, and then these other dudes rapping around them, like, man, you want to know who these guys are, you know? So it was kind of like that. And then so when I went to the mall one day, I was actually going to get, this was a crossroads for me. I set out to get a Crips and Blood album. Because Crips and Blood made this album called Bangin' on the Wax. I don't know if y'all remember that back in the day. And it was a whole Crip and Blood album with Bloods on one side and Crips on one side. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, man, I want that. So I went all the way to the mall to get it. You know how you as a kid, you go to the store to get the music, the cassettes. But then they had this display, a whole Bone display with nothing but Bone, like a Bone display with the East 99 display for the Bone tape, right? So it was a whole display. And I think it had like the members and everything, then a little display just for the Bone cassettes, just by itself. It was set out on the floor as an East 99 Bone display. So I was like, I already knew who Bone was, because it kept getting in my head, like, this my cousin telling me this is Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a new Bone album right here. It was out in the store when I went and got it. I'm like, oh man, that's a new Bone album. Can you imagine back how long ago that was? East 99 album at the Bone store, at the store. So I was like, that tell you how old I am. So I was like, yeah, let me take a chance on this. Because I like him with that Eazy-E song. And then that's how I got into Bone Thugs. I was like, man. I remember me and my stepmom, I put her up on Bone Thugs. Like, we was on our way back from the store when we got the album, just me and her. And she was listening to that Bone Thugs. She put it in. She said, let me hear it. So me and her started listening to it. This is all new to me. So me and my stepmom, that's the first time I listened to when I first got my first Bone album, me and her was riding in the car listening to it. Execution. She's like, you know what execution mean? Like, execution style mean? When somebody put somebody on their knees and shoot them in the head. That's what my stepmom was telling me. Because the first song was Execution. Execution, 99 style. Steadily sticking the bodies in the ground. Execution, 99 style. Steadily sticking the bodies in the ground. So, you know. So after that, I was just brainwashed on Bone. That was it. I put everybody up on Bone Thugs and Harmony and everything, you know. But like I said, I started liking Bizzy Bone first. You know what I'm saying? I started liking Bizzy first because he was different with the style and everything. And then he was the first verse on that album too. There might have been that too. And he just was different, man. His voice was just different, everything. And then he had the cool long hair. It was that too. He had the cool hair, man. Like, yeah, because he went beyond the blowout to where it was hanging down, and everybody won't admit, but they was trying to have their hair like Busy. Busy was like one of the only rappers that really had his hair hanging down with a part in the middle and hanging down. Everybody tried to rock that, but it wasn't on that level. Like Busy had a natural lay down blowout. It was that too. He had the image. He had the superstar image and all of that. So that's when I like Busy the most. But then when I got to Art of War, Krayzie Bone voice stood out more to me in that album. His voice stood out to me, and I just liked how he rapped and how he talked and everything. And so I just gravitated to his style on Art of War. And Neighborhood Slang is probably the skit. It's a skit on there called Neighborhood Slang, right? And that's what really sold me on Krayzie Bone after that. You know, 187 for niggas, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, for niggas that want to test, bring more than one, cause man, shotgun gon' be bucking your chest. So, you know, the mentality goes to the dome. Pop, head rush, pop it in me clip. Gift wrap that big song. Much love for the green leaves, but my truths have to ease me down. Puff, head rush, poppin' me clippin'. I got plenty rounds. Me no pretender, no studio thugster. Come and get with ya. And if we miss, you're straight. And if I miss, I'm straight. Number one in the rip stuck. Swing while them hit ya. And let them slang. Finna blow to the brain. Thought you could hang. When I slang them things, that's insane. Them popo remember we no surrender. Them niggas on the street, they remember Bone is being no pretender. 9mm popped in me. 9mm cocked in me. And yeah, so that's when I went, once I got into that Neighborhood Slang and all of that, that was it for me, bro. I was in the Krayzie Bone after that. He broke it down right there. Cause that was just him by himself. Like, and really wasn't nobody, cause to be honest with you, it was nobody really standing out on a whole, let's just say a whole song like that. By themselves, holding their own like that. Krayzie Bone really stood out on his own first and really held his own. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was that too. It was like that light, that spotlight on him like that on Neighborhood Slang, because everybody else was kind of on the Art of War album. They would have like mismatch. You know what I'm saying? Crazy and Lazy, or Lazy and Busy, or whatever, or Wish and somebody else, or. But Krayzie just stood out on the Neighborhood Slang and just kicked it by itself, man. That was just that right there was official, man. That was like he went in on that. So I mean, to me, as far as Krayzie Bone, that probably be my top three, one of my top three songs. That Neighborhood Slang, yeah. But then when that Thug Mentality came out, 1999, that was it. I was officially a Krayzie Bone fan. That 1999 Thug Mentality, that was it. That Thug Mentality, yeah. He had everybody on there too. He had everybody on there. He had Big Pun, everybody. You know what I'm saying? He had everybody on there. Snoop, everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he had one of the Marleys on there too. You know what I'm saying? The Revolution song, I think. But yeah. Like you know, he sampled Sade. I was a big fan of Sade. I done bought Sade albums. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what people don't know about me. I'm cool, laid back. Like most Sade fans are cool and laid back. So that's what people don't know about me. I bought 2 Sade albums, and I used to just listen to Sade all the time. You know, I put other people, like you know when you really like somebody, then you find that somebody else that like that person too. So like me and my aunt, I let her borrow my Sade album. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I like Crazy Bone the most. And as you can see, he wasn't. My point is, he wasn't light skinned. You know what I'm saying? So me, I gravitated towards people that wasn't light skinned or considered light skinned or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I never went by that kind of stuff. So he wound up being my favorite rapper, but you know what I'm saying? But then these days, lately, I got into Flesh and Bone. You know what I'm saying? Which he one of the dark skinned members. But I got into Flesh because this Flesh is just 100 straight up. You know what I'm saying? And I got more into Flesh and Bone like around 2000. Like when I just went back into Bone and listening to Bone, I really started to relate more to Flesh and Bone. You know what I'm saying? He to me, he's one of the most mysterious members. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think so. Because when they first got their first deal, he wasn't part of it. He went with Def Jam. And then I had a friend. This is the reason why I'm also in the Flesh, because I borrowed somebody's album. My friend had a Flesh and Bone album. The Thugs Humble United Gathering Shows album. So my friend had the Flesh and Bone album, and he knew I liked Bone Thugs. So he let me borrow the Flesh and Bone album. So that's how I got into Flesh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the real way I got them. Just straight Flesh and Bone album. I love that album too, because it was a spin-off on. It was the solo albums was a spin-off. It's Bone, but it's a spin-off, and it's just like that's how most Bone Thugs fans feel. Like, man, this is a treat because this is like Bone, but it's a Bone member, you know, by itself. So like Flesh and Bone, I was into Flesh and Bone as a kid because my friend had the Flesh and Bone album. You know what I'm saying? And so then once I got a little older, I went back into listening to Bone a little bit, and I really started relating back to Flesh and Bone with Empty the Clip on the song on the first album, Empty the Clip. You know, that's one of my favorites. North Coast Only. Just that whole album. That album was good, but that was my main ones. It was that whole album, but Empty the Clip was probably one of my favorite songs on that. And Nothing But the Bone in Me on the Flesh and Bone. I mean, I think that was a perfect song. Just that hook. That was one that was long overdue. It's good that Flesh did that, because that was kind of like something that should have came out more or after. That might have should have been on the Art of War album. But I don't know if that came before. That probably came before the Art of War album. Maybe it did. But that Nothing But the Bone in Me, that should have been. That's kind of like almost like that Art of War. That could have been on the Art of War album. I don't want to say East 99 because that was too early. Because people wouldn't hold significant what that meant. Like just saying Bone and slanging it. They weren't slanging Bone until after the East 99. Well, it's just Bone, not Bone Thugs and Harmony. Just saying Bone. So it would have made more sense to put that song out after East 99, where everybody now just slang it to saying Bone. I just listened to Bone, and by that time, after the East 99 album, that's what everybody was saying. So, but yeah, that's just how it was. You know, I came up on Bone Thugs, and then Tremaine, my brother, was listening to it. That's why, like, it's a surprise to me that he snitched on my cousin, putting my cousin in prison. You know what I'm saying? For 12 years. You know what I'm saying? This dude grew up on Bone Thugs and Harmony. You gonna put your cousin in prison for 12 years, bro? Like me, I would just charge that to the game. I ain't finna put my cousin in prison for 12 years, bro. That's just what changed everything. That changed everything. Like we can't chill on the same level. I tried, but we smoked and drank, but it was weird. We didn't, I mean, to the point where this was like in 2017 when me and my brother smoked and drank the last time we did. It was strange because I didn't know that he was offended about his wife. So it was a funny vibe because of that, because he wasn't man enough to talk about it. If he would have told me that he felt like I slept with his wife, he would have looked in my face, and many times he done looked in my face, he would have knew I would express in so many ways. When you know how I am when I'm telling the truth, you know darn well I ain't sleep with your wife. You paranoid. You done lost your mind, boy. Ain't nobody think about her. That's crazy. I seen her as like a sister. I ain't see her as no object of sexuality. That was the last thing that was not in my mind when they was together. Okay? I didn't know he felt this way. This energy was in the air the whole time. Now, when you get somebody angry, okay, they gonna hit below the belt. But I can say for sure that while she was here, when she was with him, I had not one thought about her, man. I ain't gonna think about that. My brother got a wife. I had a wife before he did. He met my wife before he even had a wife. So I played that position way before he did. I played that position, which means he ain't have no wife. I just did. I had a wife. I had a kid. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Way before he did. Way before. Years before. I had a kid years, more than one. Years before he had a kid. Okay? So, I count a solid 3 years before he had a kid. My son was 3-4 years old before he had a kid. Okay? My son is a grown man now. My son is 19 years old. That's why I don't take no junk off nobody. My son was 19 years old, man. Listen. He is 19 years old. And my wife it's just a long story. How she done kept him off the internet. And I know she have, because by now he would have reached out. See, when people don't reach out to me, I know something ain't right. Because my name is so original on the internet. You can easily find me. Marcello, okay, you can easily find me on Facebook. This is how I know what's going on with people who really want to find me. Because my name is so unique, you can find me on the internet anywhere. You can find me easily on the internet. So, my son not reaching out to me, man, and it's something going on with how my wife probably done turned to him into like a Michael Jackson kind of kid. You know what I mean, right? Them sheltered kids that don't get to do nothing and they kind of weird. She done turned him into like a Michael Jackson kid. No disrespect to Michael Jackson kids, but you know what I mean, bro. Come on. I think he done turned into it. So I can't really communicate with my son like in the beginning I couldn't. Now he's a grown man, but I look for him. I can't find him on the internet. I ain't got no numbers on nobody. I try to look up her father-in-law, which most people would do. I don't try to look her up. I don't try to look up my ex-wife. Everything. They're virtually not on the internet, which means they in strange mode. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Maybe not my father-in-law, but her and how she got my son moving. She got him like that. You know, because he might go by a different name or something. That's probably what it is. That's most likely what it is. You know, that's probably what it is. But by now, he should have reached out to me. Now he a grown man. So, you know, I ain't tripping, though. My son said he gonna find me. That's what my son told me. He gonna say, I'm gonna find you, Dad. I'm gonna come find you. You know what I'm saying? My son said he gonna come find me. So that tells you he loves me. You know what I'm saying? Unless she corrupt that love. Because me and him was talking emailing each other on the internet. She stopped communication because of the holidays. Because my mom would promise my son gifts. And my mom is the type of person that she could have mean. She means well, like she want to do something. But see, my ex-wife, could easily see that she probably wasn't gonna do it, and I know that's what happened because she said it too many times and how she was talking. You could tell she ain't gonna do it. So then For that, off the strength of that, that's what did it. She shut down, my ex-wife shut down the communication that me and my son was already having on the internet, where we was emailing each other, just emailing each other. And we was enjoying that. I was telling him to love his mother, obey his mother. I was telling him to believe in Jesus Christ. I was beginning to install things into him. And she cut that off for the holidays because she didn't want him to get any gifts promised to him and then he didn't get it. She didn't want him to be disappointed. So after the holidays, I'm like, okay, now can me and him start talking again? She said, well, I'll figure it out some to that degree. And that was it. It never happened again. That communication never came back after the holidays. And that's how it ended. Yeah. So but we were already talking and everything and like just normal talking, not urgent talking like, I'm glad to hear from you. No, we were just like laid back, like, okay, just, I'm glad, obey your mother. I told him that, obey your mother, believe in Jesus Christ, pray, things like that, just connecting like that. And before I could really get to savor that and really get my attention on it, right, like that, before I could really get my attention into it, she shut it down, man. And that was because of my mom. And I told my mom later, that's why. Because, and I know that's true. I know she did it for that reason, but it was just crazy how she never felt the need to pick it back up. You know what I'm saying? So that's how me and my son got disconnected. And this is something people need to understand. I had so much drama in my relationship with my wife, my ex-wife. I made sure I would not divorce her, which I divorced her. She didn't divorce me. I made sure that when I divorced her, that I wasn't going to have no drama after my divorce. So I can honestly say that I had no drama. I didn't have no arguments. Was to a minimum. Even the reason why we don't talk right now is for that very reason. She started drama, crazy stuff. I said, look, don't text me, communicate with me no more. That's what I told her. Don't talk to me no more, because it's the way she always do things. Even the last time I talked to her, and that was about 4 years ago. About 4 years ago, yeah, it was 4 years ago, 2022. And at the time, she wanted to get, like, remind you, I'm the same man that put myself on child support payments, and she didn't take my money, right? And I still sent money, even though she didn't go through the courts, and she could have received child support payments from me. I was gonna give her money. You know how many women is going down to town trying to get money Monday off these dudes? I put myself on child support when I was working at the hospital to give her money for my son. The state of Florida sent me paperwork saying she didn't take the money. So I did what real men do. I put myself on child support payments instead of her having to drag me downtown and put me through the system like that. See, I done been through baby mama drama, all that too, bro. I done been through the system. I've been on probation, all this stuff, man, that most black dudes go through. And my brother didn't ever really go through those type of things. I don't think he paid no child support payments. I don't think he ever did it. You know what I'm saying? For his son, I don't think he ever been on probation until like he was a grown man. I was a teenager, 16 years old on probation, going into them, paying them payments and everything. See, that's what I'm trying to show you. I was the brother that went through all the stuff that black people can relate to. You know what I'm saying? I got locked up. I got locked up when I was 16, but I ain't go to prison. I ain't go to jail. I ain't spend no time in jail. Luckily, I don't know how it happened, but I got bailed out, I think. Yeah, I think I got bailed out. That's something I should remember, shouldn't it? But when you're young, you don't really know. But I was only 16, so, and that was my only charge. But yeah, I think I got bailed out, and that's why I didn't stay in jail. And but then I was on probation. Then I had to do community service and everything like that. I went that same charge I went through. I had to comply 2 times for that same charge. I had to go through community service and probation twice. 2 POs for that same one charge. And like I said, I put myself on child support to take care of my son, take care of my responsibilities and everything like that. And this is when I was 26. I was 26 years old. By the time I tried to put myself on child support payments, I couldn't have been no older than 27. So I was a young man doing what I was supposed to do. And I got papers with the state of Florida to prove that. You know, I put myself on child support payments. She didn't take the money. She did not take the money. So as a parent, she could never really go too hard on me because of that, where she wouldn't play herself. And I told her dad, because her dad is veteran military. So I told him when she was locked up, she went to jail, right? And she wrote me from jail. And I had just came back from Los Angeles. I just happened to be at my mom's house. I could have been in Los Angeles, but I just happened to be there. And she wrote me a letter from jail, like right during the holidays of 2014. And she had lost custody. It's the first time she lost custody of my son. So my son was given to the state. Remind you, she took custody of my son initially. And I was in North Carolina and she was in Florida. That's another reason I wasn't in his life, because he was in North Carolina. I was in North Carolina, he was in Florida, right? So by 2014, 7 years later, my son must have been seven years old. She lost him to the state because she left him in a motel by himself, and he was running around and everything and jumping around and everything, playing around. And somebody ratted her out, and so they charged her for neglect. They charged her with neglect, right? And so I lost custody when she lost custody. We both had custody up until that point. Once she lost custody because of what she did, I lost parental custody as the parental father. That's the first time. When she lost him, she wrote me from jail. This happened when she was in Texas. She was living in Texas. She lost custody in Texas. So she wrote me from Texas, trying to be like me and go out into these different states, and I make it look easy, and she couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? She wound up getting locked up and everything out there in Texas, and wrote me from jail when I just happened to be coming home from Los Angeles. So she gave me her dad's address, and I took the time to tell him, because I know she didn't tell him, that I put myself on child support and she didn't take the money. I know she didn't tell him. So while she was in jail, that's when I had the chance to tell him. I wrote him a good letter and told him everything. So he can see I had honor. So he can see where my honor and my heart was at. And because my father-in-law was always on my side. You know, he wasn't one of them people that dogged me and dragged me and all of that. Remind you, I lived with this man. Me and him used to talk about the Bible and everything together. We were Christian brothers. A matter of fact, when me and her broke up one time, he was like, I don't only miss my son-in-law, I miss my brother in Christ. So me and him was Christians. We take communion together. I was a Christian when me and her was together. And mind you, this is military, so this ain't no bozo. You know, this is a military man. And me and him just had a bond. You know what I'm saying? So I know she didn't tell him that I put myself on child support payments for her to take the money, and I know, because I know he would have chewed her out if she didn't take the money. This is a military man, and you living with him. You know how mad he must have been. You was living with me that whole time, and you didn't take money from this man, and me and you were struggling. I know they was, and you could have took money from this person. So while she was locked up, I sent him a letter, because she gave me his address just for other reasons, just because she locked up and all that stuff. So when she sent me his address, I had the wisdom I had the mind, like we say in the South, I had the mind to think about sending him a letter. And I sent him a good letter, man, and let him know that I put myself on child support payments and she didn't take the money. See, so I got them real man stories that my brother don't got, you know what I'm saying? And I had that bond with my father-in-law, while my brother, his mother-in-law, called him a mama's boy. His own mother-in-law, his wife, his baby mama, her mother called him a mama's boy. That's a woman saying that. When a woman call you a mama's boy, that's bad. Because most women gonna kind of understand the relationship you got with your mom. They gonna kind of understand how you relate to a woman, but especially your mother. But for her to call him a mama's boy, that meant to me he didn't practice some type of independence from his mother. That's what it meant. I don't know what it was. I don't know what that particular situation was, but I heard it through the grapevine. She called him a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? My father-in-law was on my side to the end of that relationship. Before I got on the Greyhound, he was like, "Do you gotta go?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I already got my ticket." Because he said, "I get tired of that boy crying wolf stuff." Meaning his daughter was called crying wolf all the time, and he was tired of it. So he was on my side. Her mother was military too. She was a military brat. Her mom was military. Both of my in-laws were military. So that's how you know I'm an honorable man. And I didn't even try to make that happen like that. And now, my age, that's a little intimidating, but I was so young, I didn't even know what that was. But that shows you what kind of caliber kid I was, even as a young man. My in-laws both were military. Both of them was military. Navy, they were both in the Navy. So my in-laws were both military, the mom and the dad, and I didn't have any problems with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and my father-in-law, he was very close. That was the first military person I lived with, and we were so close that my ex-wife used to come into the room and pull me out by my hand, pull me out to make me go in the room with her, because me and him used to spend so much time talking about the Word, talking about the Bible and everything like that. So that kind of give you an idea, man, of what kind of guy I was as far as relationships and everything like that, and how I took care of my responsibilities as for my son and everything. Now he's 19, so I'm good, but you always want to help if you can. If I always want to, even though I ain't heard from him or nothing like that, I always want to help my own blood. That's something that only parents can relate to. No matter what I feel, I always want to help them. You know what I'm saying? If it goes in that direction. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, see, so that's how me and him are different type of people. Like he didn't, I don't think he sent no child support payments to his wife for that child. I don't think he did. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he did ever. You know what I'm saying? And But I don't know. I don't know here and there because I know he got the address of his mother-in-law. I know he at least had that. So I don't know. That I don't know for sure, but I didn't hear it through my mom, and usually she would kind of volunteer that kind of information. That he's sending money down there to his son or whatever. You know how your mom kind of say stuff like that. She never said nothing like that. But see, that's why so you can see all of that with my wife. That all happened. Everything I told you happened before he even had a wife. I had already left her. I divorced her. Everything. Put myself on child support payments before his wife even came along. I had already had credibility, reputation, everything. As a married man, as a man with a child and everything. And my brother gave us clothes like for a baby, like for the equivalent of a baby shower. When my son was born, he gave my son clothes and everything. So would you let him come out here after he done bought my son clothes? And you see what I'm saying? You gotta like, as far as black people, you gotta check yourself, bro. Nah, because everybody talking about being real. Now you done met somebody that come from the same streets you come from, got the same perspective, you grew up on the same music, Bone Thugs, all this stuff and everything y'all grew up on. I grew up on the same stuff. I got the same mentality. So you done met your match. You can't come to me. That's how you need to hear it. You can't play me like these white folks. You can't play with me like these white folks, man. I'm breaking it down to you. What happened? And you caught lacking in this situation, and you're not gonna look like you the black party and you represent black people. You look like you out of touch. I'm gonna tell you how you really look for the people that play with me. You look like you out of touch, you got easily bamboozled, and you allowed yourself to be bamboozled for goods. These people was handing out money, food, whatever else they was handing out, weed and drugs. I know how these people move, these secret societies. You listen to them, you took money and goods from them, and you didn't really care if I was right or wrong at the first time when it first happened. You didn't really care. Then time went by and you started to care because you seen the repercussions and you seen who I was, and you started to sympathize, right? But before that, at the most critical part, before you got started, you didn't take inventory of the situation like a street nigga would. You ain't do it like a street nigga would. So then you can't bamboozle with me. You can't outmatch me with talking about the streets. It ain't gonna work. I come from North Carolina. I come from a chocolate city, Charlotte. You ain't gonna play me trying to act black. Or act like you represent what black is and I don't. That's the problem here. That's the problem. You ain't gonna play that black card and I'm a nigga from Charlotte. Think about what I'm saying. To check yourself and stop listening to them white people. Stop listening to dumb niggas. You know I'm from Charlotte. What that tells you? It tells you a lot if you culture from America. If you call yourself loving America and I'm from Charlotte. What in the world that tell you? I'm a black man for sure. All day. And some would say more culture in what black is than you. And you know that. You ain't even gonna contest that. You already know that. And most of y'all family come from Charlotte. You New Yorkers. Okay, so that's what makes it so good for you in this situation, for you to understand. You know exactly what type of person I am. You know exactly where I come from, literally. Y'all taking the Chinese bus down there to Charlotte, and I already know. Okay, so I already know that. You taking the New York people, black people gonna take the Chinese bus to go to Charlotte. It's cheaper. It's cheaper and everything. So y'all been going to Charlotte this whole time. So I don't have to explain to you what type of nigga I am, and you already know what type of nigga I am. If you know about, if you got family in Charlotte and you be going down there, you already know what type of nigga I am. You done been around all your people down there. Y'all done went to the family reunions. You done went to the family reunions. You done did all that hanging out, cookouts and all that, drinking and smoking and chilling down there in Charlotte. You done did all of that. All right, so then you don't need it to be explained to you. To not play yourself like I don't know what's going on. Like you don't like, and you act like you don't know what's going on. Now you done finally found a Charlotte nigga that done came up here and got a problem with you. That's how you need to hear it. Because you shouldn't have, because you New York niggas, first of all, when you heard I was from Charlotte, you should have gave me the benefit of the doubt just right along with Charlotte. Not just vouching for some niggas y'all know from Charlotte. You should have said, oh, well, he from Charlotte too. Okay, so then we ain't finna just ride with this part of Charlotte, because this nigga from Charlotte too. You didn't look at it like that, did you? You just thought that side was from Charlotte. I'm from Charlotte too. And that's what you should have looked at. That's where you messed up. That's why I take points off. You too sharp in New York. You too sharp to make those type of mistakes. You know, you too sharp. You too smart. You too smart in New York. You too street smart to make them type of mistakes. You too street smart to make. So I know you was manipulated by money. You was manipulated by drugs. You were manipulated by liars. But at some point, a street nigga gonna say, okay, if y'all saying this stuff about this nigga from Charlotte, first of all, I got family from Charlotte. That's what most New York niggas gonna sit back and say right now. Smoking a blunt, yeah, but you know, first of all, I got family. I got family from Charlotte. First of all, I got family from Charlotte. First of all, hold up. First of all, see what I'm saying? You played yourself. You should have knew one of the chosen ones was gonna come from Charlotte. You should have knew sooner or later somebody from Charlotte was gonna come up here in New York and do something. Chinese bus shoots right up here. You should have knew eventually somebody was gonna come up here and do something. You should have knew eventually some Charlotte dude was gonna come up here and make waves in the water. But think about what I'm saying now. Y'all done made waves down there. We never made waves up here. But by the time that it happened, it was controversy. But I have talent that New York recognized before I even came to New York. My music was heard by Mobb Deep. The rap group, Mobb Deep. Havoc from Mobb Deep heard my music, gave me his number. I got the receipts to prove it. You can go get him, and I can send him the text and everything where he sent me his number. He gonna know that's his number. Oh, I still got the receipts right now. I got it right now. Okay, so that shows you I had talent before I even came to New York. That's before I came to New York. So that means I wasn't even influenced by New York at all, as far as geographically or coming up here. And Havoc said, yo, come through, right? He didn't even know I wasn't in New York. I mean, I don't know if he even thought about it, but he was just like, come through. Like, and but I didn't even know that he had said that until I went and checked my Twitter account and found it. And I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? Because I got burnt out of an apartment. Me and my wife, my girl, you know, our apartment got on fire, caught on fire or whatever. And that's when he sent, during that time when we was burnt out of an apartment, that's when he sent me the message. Right? Crazy, man. That was a crazy situation. So that's how I missed that opportunity. But see, I had already received love from New York before I even came up here. See, that's what I'm trying to show you. So see, that's the beginning of somebody that came from Charlotte that was already getting noticed by somebody that was famous. That's what I'm saying. It would be one thing if this was some like talent show or some stuff of people we don't know. I was already getting recognized. Look at that. I was already getting recognized by Mobb Deep. Remind you, Prodigy was still alive at the time. Prodigy and Havoc, right, was still alive. Know what I mean? And they probably were still doing their music. And I grew up on Mobb Deep. I had a Mobb Deep album and everything. That's what makes it so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I took time to really listen to Mobb Deep. So, you know, I was one of those dudes. I listened to Wu-Tang. I bought Wu-Tang albums. Mobb Deep. I like everybody else. Old Dirty Bastard. I had his album. Method Man. I had the Tikal album. I had Tikal, Return to the 36 Chambers by ODB. I had the Brooklyn Zoo album. So, you know, see, my story is I never bought a Tupac album. I bought a Biggie album, Mobb Deep, and Old Dirty Bastard, Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was okay, but I like Biggie because of the punchlines and just like he rapped like a real MC. How he rapped, you know, he rapped like an MC. Tupac he was good, you know, but I like MCs. I like Biggie because he was an MC. So what people might think is funny, you know what I'm saying? They might think you look like Tupac, but I move like Biggie. You know what I'm saying? If you pay attention, I look like they might think I look similar to Pac, but I move like Biggie. That could be a rap line. Look like Pac, but I move like Biggie because. I mean, I took time to really listen to Biggie, and as far as Art of War, I respect how he played his hand when he had a war with Pac. I respect how Biggie played his hand. He just sat back, you know. That's the same thing what I'm doing now. I'm playing it just like Biggie played it with Pac. I'm letting everybody talk and everything and say whatever they want to do and acting crazy and wild. See, Biggie wasn't a nigga about it. Pac was a nigga about it. Pac was a nigga about that. You know what I'm saying? He was all out here talking about he slept with Faith and everything, lying on his penis. That's what we call it. In the South, you lying on your penis. If you know you ain't have sex with somebody, you lying on your penis. You know what I'm saying? So, Tupac talking about he had sex with Faith and everything, he was just a nigga. Nigga about it. Biggie sat back and you could tell he was raised right. He just stepped back from it. You know what I'm saying? And just maintain his position. He wasn't a punk about it, but he just maintained his position. He sidestepped that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I move more like Biggie. Like I'm gonna let people talk and say whatever they want to say. Just like Tupac, they all niggas and acting loud and talking all loud and everything. So you might think that was me, but it comes a point in time, even if you ain't got a personality, if you're not like Pac, you gotta talk as a man. But I move more like Biggie. But people didn't pay attention. I let people sit back. That's how Biggie was. If you know the whole story between Biggie and Pac, Biggie sat back. Like, nah, I just need to talk to this dude. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, also, he was just so innocent, like with how he went to other places. He went to California. And he was getting tattoos. You know how the movie shows it. He was just enjoying his life. He was just showing love. He wasn't trying to feed into all this drama and this beef or whatever. And people was calling him and saying they was going to do stuff to him or whatever. But he was just maintaining himself. He was just having fun. You know what I'm saying? Getting tattoos and everything. Just doing what a young dude would do. Just enjoying California, everything. Going out of town, enjoying his life. You know what I'm saying? And but it was niggas in the background, you know what I'm saying, playing games and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I relate more to Biggie when it comes to this war, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to go do me just like Biggie did. I ain't going to stop going to California or New York. I ain't going to stop doing all of that because these other niggas talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go do me. I'm going to continue. That's how you know I ain't scared, because I'm going to still go do me. But when it don't make sense no more, when I know I won in my situation, like in this situation where I'm living, I know I won. I'm not letting no lightweights put no pressure on me, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize, man. I mean, you know, maybe you sizing it up based on my age or my baby face. I don't know what it is. But I ain't no lightweight. I get respect from military. I get respect from anybody that you respect in your community. Everybody, all the walks of life you can think about. I get respect from somebody from the walks of life. That's just how it is. I've been around killers. You know what I'm saying? And think about some of these lame boys in this building, and they ain't been around no killers. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been around no killers. I have. I've been around people that took people's lives, man. You understand me? I don't think you do. I've been around people that kill people. Okay, that's the difference between me and my brother too. I don't know if he's been around people that kill people. I have. That really kill people. And most of us as black people, you'll say you will kill people, but you ain't been around nobody that have killed people. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Then hanging your whole crew, you know, they will kill. They got guns, but they have none of y'all among y'all have never killed nobody. And I mean, it ain't no badge of honor, but you know, you can't have certain people that don't know how to handle people like me playing around me. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it. You know, you can't mishandle me. Okay? You can leave me alone, but if you try to handle me and you mishandle me, it's always gonna be a problem. That's common sense, man. But you don't see me mishandling nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want people to pay attention to. I'm not asking something of people that I'm not doing myself. And you can see I have a full, mature life. I've had a kid. I've been married. I do what men do. I took care of my son when I could have. So you can't just say I'm on some street stuff. I got a full life that I can show you. Where I've lived my life outside of just the obvious things that people know in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So you can't act like I'm just stuck on ignorance. I showed you the life I lived, right? See, this is what God is looking at. While you paying attention, whatever you heard and stuff you heard, God is paying attention to. This man has a son. This man is a father. This man has helped his child. This man has lived a real life while you practicing ignorance. That's what we talk about this morning. And you ain't got nothing, no stories to tell like I do that shows that you a real man or a real woman. All you are is walking around like wild monkeys. That's how you moving, like wild monkeys. And I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm moving like Big. I'm moving like Biggie. You can say what you want to say. I know you don't know nothing about me. I know you don't know my life. I know you can't know my life. I know you going by nigga stuff that you heard from other niggas, whether it be in my family or outside of my family. I don't care. I don't care. That don't give it no credibility because you heard it from my family. See, a dumb nigga gonna think because you heard something from my family, that gives it credibility. That's stupid. That's a simple nigga. I don't care if it came from his grandmother. We gotta have receipts. That's that simple. If it's no receipts, I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to entertain it. I don't care who it come from. See, that's how a big dog gonna tell you. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that. Cause I done seen him up here since 2012. He done been up here, 14 years, almost 20 years in New York. He ain't done nothing up here. That's all we care about. Now, if he had come up here, if we had heard this stuff, and then we can see some stuff he done up here, then we will want to confront this person. But the smoking gun that you lame niggas ain't looking at is that look how long he been in New York, and he ain't done nothing. So you can't say it's his nature. You can't say that's who he is based on what you heard, because why he ain't doing nothing according to what you heard? He done been up here all this time. He ain't done nothing sketchy. All these people up here, and you ain't seen him do nothing sketchy. That's what New York gonna say. Nah, we don't want nothing to do with that, because we're smart enough to know if he was a weirdo, then it would have done came out by now, him living in New York City. All this dense population, all these people up here, I'm not stupid. He would have had a chance to do something to someone up here. Sometime. And he in between the shelters and the streets up here too. He wasn't only in the shelters, he was in the streets of New York. Yeah, I was in the streets of New York. He in the streets of New York. All these people. And nothing. We don't want nothing to do with that. That's what New York should have. That's the big dogs. That tells us everything because, see, unlike Charlotte, this is a hub for humanity. This is a hub for music, entertainment, and all these people up here, and he ain't do nothing up here. That tells us everything. We're not retarded. We don't need nobody spelling nothing out for us. If he done came here and lived in New York, and all this time, and all this dense population, you know what dense mean? All these people in New York, and he ain't done nothing sketchy in his life here. He done nothing. Not a shred of evidence of nothing. If he had one thing, then I would agree. Because that's the connection. Because we don't got nothing on us, right? We don't got no sketchy stuff on us, right? Okay, so one thing I would agree, but he's just like us. It ain't nothing on him. Like a normal person. And that's how he has to be esteemed as a normal person, or you're gonna be in trouble. That's that, bro. Like you listen. Niggas get played in the hood all the time, and you don't want to accept it, but that's what your situation is. Your situation is he utilized this community against his brother because that boy's wife was attracted to him. He keep telling you that. That's what it was about, and that's what adds up. That's what adds up when he's telling us all these stories, like his brother bought him a car. Your brother bought you a car? I don't know nobody that I feel victimized me, and I really feel that's what it is. And I don't turn around and buy them a car, and I don't buy their child clothes. No, I don't buy the person I feel victimized me a car. And then turn around years later and utilize the community against him. That don't add up. You know what adds up? His story, where his wife was attracted to his brother, and he got mad and utilized the whole community against his brother. That narrative adds up because the reason why the other ones don't, because the contradiction of him helping his brother, giving his brother a car, buying his brother a car, not a card, a car, not a letter, a card, a car. No, that don't add up, bro. See, the truth is, black people know better than white people. You got played. It happens all the time in the hood, and if you've been in the streets long enough, somebody done played you for money, clothes, something. You done got played for something. You live long enough in the hood, you get played. Some get played harder than others. But that comes with the hood. Ain't nobody I know it can't say, oh yeah, somebody jerked me out a couple dollars. It's okay, I ain't gonna buy nothing else from him. But I got jerked out a couple dollars. He jerked me for a couple dollars. Know what I'm saying? I got played a couple times for this, got hustled a couple times. I was trying to buy something from somebody. I got hustled a couple times. Of course. White people got to come to terms with it. You know what I'm saying? You came out here, you thought you knew what you knew, but you didn't. You got played. That's all it is. We get played. My point is, black people get played all the time. It's easy for us to realize it and come to terms with it. The better thing to say, it's easier for us to come to terms with it than a white boy. A white boy don't know what to do. I can't believe this. Because he ain't never got played, right? I can't believe this. Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the hood. When niggas get played all the time. And it happened to you, and that's what it is. And I'm not gonna be made to look like nothing else when that's the case. You got played. I'm telling you what it is. And anybody is from the hood know that's how you know that sound. You know that's what it is, don't you? You got played, bro. You got played. You can see all the writing on the wall. I'm a good person. I'm smart. I'm talented. Everything. You got played, bro. And guess what? And here's listen, here it is back to street stuff. Back to street stuff. I expect people that say they from the streets to come to terms with it like you done came to terms with it other times. You got to play other times, okay, then come to terms with it. Stop trying to play goofy ass games like it's gonna mean something else. Okay, this is what it is. You got played. Okay. Now the best thing you can do is make people pay that put you in this situation. That's what you can do. Because I know my brother should be punished. He should be punished for this. He should be punished for putting hands on my mother. Okay? She told me herself that my brother Tremaine Dominic Houston put hands on my mother. He didn't say he punched her, but he like pushed her. You know how you just push somebody like that? Like, yeah, what you want to do like that? That's the gesture. Like, yeah, like pushing you like that, right? That's how she told me. Imagine me, how I feel about that. You ain't gonna feel the same way I feel, because that's not your mother. So you ain't gonna sympathize to the full degree. No, you're not. You might think it's a trifling person, but you ain't gonna want them dead, because that's not your mother. Now let somebody push your mother and put hands on your mother. You want to cut their whole arm off. You want to cut his arm off. You want to cut his whole arm off for it. That's all I'm showing you. Is that you think I want to get rid of him because he telling the truth. No, you're not looking at the whole thing. That's what you're thinking. He put hands on my mother. He put my cousin in jail. Our favorite cousin, by the way. That's how you need to hear it. Don't you know the favorite cousin you smoke weed with, play video games with, growing up, coming to the parties, coming to the cookouts, even if on your mom's side, or if they on even the opposite side of the family, this person coming over there checking, meeting everybody on the opposite side of your family. Like on your dad's side, but he from your mom's side, or you're from your dad's side, he gonna see your mom's side. That kind of situation. That kind of cousin. This was our favorite cousin. He put him in jail for 12 years with no chance of parole. 12 years in prison. My brother is the reason why he went to prison. You see these real stories? This is real. This is real life. He went to prison for 12 years. Any street nigga gonna say, ooh, a decade is hard right there. Listen, 12 years with no chance of parole. No chance. Ain't no chance in hell. You got to do the whole stretch. 12 years. The whole time you sitting back realizing your cousin put you in prison, which will be my brother. That's the same person you listen to. Did you know that part? You couldn't have known it. Initially, you couldn't have known that. You didn't put two and two together at the same time you heard something about me, that this person also put my cousin in prison. You didn't have it all together like this. You heard stuff here, you heard this here. That's how you getting it. You ain't get it all at one time. That, oh, he's saying this about your brother, his brother, but also he put his cousin in prison. See, it would have lost credibility. If you heard all at one time, oh yeah, but you know he put his cousin in prison. Oh, that's facts. he told me himself. My brother told me himself. He told me himself that he went to the police and put his cousin in prison. Oh, it's no doubt about it. So then most street niggas is gonna say, well, I don't hold him credible for nothing. A person that's low like that. He put hands on his own mother. He shoved his mother with his hands in an offensive way to the point she pointed out to the other brother. She telling me on the phone what happened. This is what's been going on. I got texts. I looked on my mom's phone, texting my brother talking about, y'all better not be practicing the art of war. I feel like y'all practicing the art of war against me. He talking to his mother like that. Cause he that paranoid in his mind, talking about his mother, his mom, his own mom practicing the art of war against him. That's what the words he used. He don't know I seen the text. Cause I was living with my mom, and you know how it is. You ain't got no phone, you're gonna use your mom's phone. You know what I'm saying? So it was that type of situation. So I would see the text, you know what I'm saying, and I seen the text, and nobody knew about it. He didn't know I was there. I seen firsthand how paranoid he is, even towards his own mother, talking about she practicing the art of war against him. Man, my mom ain't thinking nothing about that big head boy, and practicing no art of war against him for what? Make that make sense. Of somebody from a different generation that ain't even out here in the streets. Make it make sense. Make it make sense when your mom is practicing art of war against you, bro. That's that, and he can't deny that because that was on the text. I seen the text myself. Y'all practicing art of war, and he told my mom, "Oh, let's see who had the most power." Like in spiritual warfare, like he gonna work witchcraft and she works God's power. She forgives this stuff. My mom forgives this stuff. Now you talking to somebody who don't forgive it. Now you talking to a family member that ain't gonna be biased about it. Ain't gonna let it go. That's how I'm supposed to be as the older son, as the other son. I don't supposed to let that go. You talking about your mom, you let's see who got the most power between you and your mother? Like in spirituality, like saying he gonna work witchcraft while she works spirituality on God's side. He said, my mom told me this part herself. This is a whole different situation from the art of war text. This is a conversation me and my mom had where she told me on the phone verbally that he said, let's see who have the most power. This is where this person's mind was, bruh. This is who you listen to as white folks in America and as black folks in America. That ain't got no credibility, no trifling person like that. Where she had to get a restraining order just to get him removed out of her house. He wouldn't even leave on his own. And that's the punchline. She had to get a restraining order against him to make him leave her house. He didn't want to leave her house normally, like a man with integrity and self-respect. If my mom ever tell me to leave her house, I'm gone. And she know that. She ain't never asked me to leave. She ain't never asked me to leave her house. I'm always the brother that everybody want me to stay. And even now, I move on when it's problems. I don't even hear. I don't stand around in no ignorant nigga stuff. No. It's too funky. And I'm too clean. I'm too clean with my stuff. I got reputation. And see, for me to even have to call the police, that don't even look good for a nigga like me. You see what I'm saying? I'm too clean for stuff like this. And people is dirty. They don't care about their life. They don't care what they do and they don't do. You know what I'm saying? I got to get away from niggas like that. So for me, I'm the brother that my mom is want me to stay in the city. She want me to stay. My brother is the opposite. She want him out her house and she can't get him out. That type of nigga. That's the type of nigga you listen to. A man that wouldn't even leave his own mother's house. And why you think you got something going on. That's what type of trifling nigga you listening to. And that's how you need to hear it. When you think you got some stand-up guy, some little Tupac nigga, that's a trifling little bum. Tupac would have never stayed in on his mom, and his mom told him to leave. What'd he say? 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. The nigga left. This nigga stayed up in his house, in his mama house, against her will. That's the most trifling type of nigga among us. And so she ain't gonna say she wanna eliminate or delete her own son. She ain't gonna, a black mama ain't gonna never say that. We gotta read between the lines and see what's best. You understand me? Now you're talking to a ruler in the family, somebody other than my mom. See, in the family, you got many rulers. Now you're talking to another ruler who makes the executive decision on what should happen. Because a mother ain't gonna never say that. We know how black mothers are. They ain't gonna never say, oh, I'll just delete him. Delete him, she most likely no. A black mother gonna love to the end of the world. We gotta make the executive decision. When we put all this stuff together, and this is what real rulers do. This is, you talking about being African and ruling. Well, this is what Africans do. They delete who needs to be deleted. And that's all I'm saying. Ain't no way in hell you finna come and play with me. And I know this about a female. And this a trifling nigga that you held as credible, and he wouldn't even leave his own mother's house. He wouldn't even leave his mother's house. You can't come back from that. You can't ever come back from that in my eyes. I don't care how much you work. I don't care how much y'all can talk about that all you want to. That's how you get bamboozled by all these other niggas anyway. Working. And these bums is working. These trifling niggas working. I don't even go by that no more. A nigga working, I don't go by that. You can't, oh, so what if he working? He can still be a trifling piece of crap. This dude wouldn't even leave his mother's house. I have never done that with my mom, with my family. Now with a female, I'm not letting you put me out on the streets and just because you lost an argument or and I've been here with you this whole time. That's different. But your mother? With a mother? No. You're supposed to have manhood. You're supposed to have manhood. You're supposed to go to the streets if you got to. A black man done it, can do it. You go to the streets. Your mom wants you on the streets, you go to the streets. And if she wants you back, okay, she might tell you that. Until then, you leave. You show her you got heart. You show her you a man. You leave until she wants you to come back. That's how you live. It don't matter. It don't matter what you gotta do. You live on the bridge, you live in the woods, you live wherever. You don't lay in on your own mother and think you're gonna get some respect out here, think you can see me, and think you can see me in this lifetime. You can never see me. That's why. I know stories they don't know. You putting hands on your own mother. You laying in the house and she gotta get a restraining order against you for them to remove you from her house. Among black people, that's the most trifling nigga it is. And so how in the world you sitting up there acting like you support somebody like that? That's all I'm saying, buddy. See, you can't have your cake and eat it too, buddy. I know you playing games. You want to be on somebody's side and all that little goofy stuff, that little Super Mario Brothers stuff. Let me tell you something, bro. Listen, everybody gonna die, right? You gonna die without honor. You gonna die like a lame. I'm telling you, I don't care how real you are. Because this is how people fall off, just like he fell off. Trying to thinking you real forever. When you can make mistakes and you fall off as a real nigga. And I don't listen, because only real niggas gonna tell other real niggas. You can make mistakes and fall off as a real nigga. And now you ain't got that same credibility. It don't matter what you did in the streets. That ain't gonna hold you up forever. You still gotta live this. You gotta live this every day. You can't talk about what the charge you called back in 93 and all that stuff. You know how dudes are. We don't care nothing about that. We talking about right now. Where you out here in these politics with a lame boy that wouldn't even leave his mother's house. Played you, bruh. Played you. I don't have no respect for nobody like that. If my mom tell me to leave, listen. All she gotta do is say it one time, and I'm out of there. Cause that's how you feel at the time. I mean, even if you might change your mind, but at that time, for you to say that, that's how you feel, and I'm out. I'm not gonna sit there and beg. I'm not gonna sit there and say something else. If you say that to me, like I should leave, that's it. That's all. I'm out. That's it. That's how you feel. That's how you really feel. At least halfway. So why would I stay? See, but I wasn't never that brother that was like that, man. So see, out of all that stuff y'all might be hung up on in them couple years when he was working and riding around that little truck, y'all don't know about these stories right here. See, he feeding you that little stuff like that. I'm feeding you the whole story. Because people can have, we all know as black people, you're going to have them good years. You're going to have them good years where you can show people when you was doing good. We ain't talking about that. We talking about the whole story. How did you end? You ended when you couldn't, your mom had to get a restraining order to get you out the house. You put your cousin in prison for 12 years. He's in prison right now because of you. And so what kind of respect could you possibly be getting in the streets? That's what I'm saying. From Freemasons or anybody. I don't know no man or woman that's going to respect somebody that do that. They got to get a restraining order to get you out the house. You won't leave on your own. So I don't care what kind of stuff you did before that. Look at who you are now. A dumb nigga gonna listen to what he talking about. Yeah, I used to have this car. I used to do this. And I used to run. I don't care nothing about that. I'm looking at you gotta get my mom had to get a restraining order to get the same nigga that's supposed to be so independent and working. Why she gotta get a restraining order to get you out the house then? If you a stand-up guy, that's not you. You not no stand-up nigga. If you was a stand-up nigga, you would have stood up and left. That's what stand-up niggas do. And we figure it out. We figure it out. We work it out. That's what a real man do. You leave and you work it out, buddy. You figure it out day by day. You ain't built like that, nigga. You wouldn't even leave your mom's house. That's what we talking about. That's what the street niggas gonna be talking about. You wouldn't even leave your mom's house, bro? No, you didn't think we would think about that. You didn't think we would worry about that. Yeah, that tells us what type of nigga you are. It's more than one way to skin a cat. We find out you ain't nothing. Putting your hands on your own mother, and then you wouldn't even leave her house when she told you to leave. We don't support no nigga like that. Because that's a black woman. That's how we look at it. Oh, even though that's not our mother, she's black, isn't she? She's a black mother. She's a black person. Look what you did. You wouldn't even leave. You wouldn't even leave her house. You put hands on your own mother. So if your stepdad would have knew about it, he would have killed you. I know he ain't know, because if he would have, he would have killed you, buddy. He from the old school. If he would have found out after all you done that you did also put hands on his wife, he would have killed you, buddy. I know he'll know. I know he'll know to this day. Because after all you did, he would have found out that you put hands on his wife, he would have killed you, man. He would have killed you. It don't matter if it was a touch like a feather. If you put hands on somebody in an offensive way, that's understood that way. And she told me this. She told me this information. How would I know? I'm not there. So you know it's valid. You know it's real. And how could I be lying when you could easily go ask her, my mama? So you know that tells you. She told me he like shoved her. That's the way she put it. Put his hands on her, like pushing her like that in an offensive way. Not that they was joking or whatever and he just did it randomly. Nah, like it was an offensive situation. like it was an offensive situation, and that's how she put it to me. How would you feel? How would you feel as the other brother? Like, listen, man, out of all that stuff you heard, then he gonna come play with my reputation too? Look, put it all together, man. Put it all together. That's all you gotta do. That's why I'm on one every day. You don't know why. This is why I'm on one. Every day I'm on one. White people don't even know what that means. I'm on one every day, bro. Knowing all this stuff this person did because of a female. When you're supposed to have more respect. He owed my mom's money. Here's the last one. Here's the last one. He owed my mom money. Don't you know my mom told me he went and took the money that he owed her and bought his wife clothes. Man, that ain't a sucker to you, bro. That's not a sucker. He took the money that he owed his mother and bought his wife clothes. She told me this. My mom told me this. You know, I'm the out-of-town brother, so I'm going to hear everything. You know how that go. I'm going to hear everything. Because I'm the out-of-town relative. So I hear everything, right? So that's how I know. My mom told me, he owed me money and went and bought her clothes. It was just wrong. You know how your family gonna say. He bought her this dude tricked off on his wife like he a John. Like he a trick. Tricking off on his wife. That's tricking off. When you owe other people money, as you like your mother, and you buying clothes for your wife, that ain't even taking care of your wife. That's not supporting your wife. That's tricking off. You a John. You a John to me. You can't pay your own mother back, and you owe her money, and you gonna go spend money on your wife's clothes. She don't need them clothes, and she can wear the same clothes. Shoot, that's what I would have told my wife. You don't need them clothes right now. You got some jeans in here. We gonna listen. Hey, most women, and on top of that, most women got like a decent wardrobe. She had enough clothes. He just trying to make a doll her up. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like she would, she ain't got no clothes out here, like she butt naked. He trying to doll her up, on it like that, like trying to make her shine. You see the picture? Trying to make her shine, get all these different color clothes and all this stuff, make her shine with these sneakers and all that. Trying to make her shine like that, right? Why you owe people money? Why you owe your mother money? I can see if it was somebody else. You can say, I ain't paying them right now. Sure, I'm taking care of my wife. I might sympathize with that. Okay, it's some other people you don't really care about them. But see, me, my ethics is if I owe you money, I'm gonna pay my money. I pay my dues in the streets. I got money. I can go show you somebody in New York City right here. I can go get money from right now. That's how good I'm literally talking about. Like I can get somebody to take me by a car, and if that person's working, I'm good for cash right now, buddy. I got credibility, money credibility in the streets. You know what's better than the street credibility? Money credibility. I borrowed money from people in the streets that work at bodegas. A dude at a bodega giving me money to pay my phone bill, knowing I'm good for it. When I'm messed up in the game and I can't pay my phone bill, I go borrow money from him. He give me cash like that. Because I made my way around and to where I pay my money. I'm good. I pay my money. I pay my cash back. I take pride in paying my bills. I take pride in paying street bills. Because paying your street tabs is better than street credibility. Because if I need to kill somebody, guess what? I can get the money to borrow the money to do it. So what's better? Street money? Street credibility with money? Or just street credibility? Street credibility with money, because at some point you ain't gonna have no money. I can go to this person and say, yo, I need enough money for a gun. I need a little more than I've been used to getting from you, because I need a little more money to give me a gun right now. And I really do, actually. You know what I'm saying? And I can go to that person, and because he know I'm pretty good for it, he gonna say, well, you know, you pay money back consistently every time. I know it might take you a little longer, but I know you'll pay it off. And guess what? Now I can take care of myself. You feel me? Instead of just street credibility, I can do something about my situation. Street credibility, sometimes you can't even do nothing about your situation. You got street credibility, but what you gonna do about your situation? You got money credibility. I can go get a gun about my situation, because I know that person know I pay money back. I got somebody right here in New York that can vouch for me. Oh, he paid all his money back. And then I gave a little credit in there. I threw credit. He didn't even ask for credit. I mean, he didn't even ask for interest. He ain't asked for interest. But I threw interest in there one time. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't even ask for interest. Just pay me back what I gave you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type of dude. I lived in New York for like 3 years in my apartment. In that neighborhood, I got credibility with paying money back. Like a real nigga. I'm gonna move around and I need things and I want to do things. You know what I'm saying? And people gonna see that in me, then I'm good for it. You know, he started talking to me first about it. Do I need something? Do I need something here and there? He threw it out there first. So when the time came, like it always will, a good businessman know the time gonna come when you gonna need something. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing you a pretty decent person. You move right. He knew he's a great judge of character. He already knew. He already knew I was good enough of a person to pay my money back. I pay my street credit, my tabs back in the streets. I pride myself, and I ran it up to hundreds. No, not $10, hundreds. And I'm just running it up, because I'm in a situation, and I paid every dime back, buddy. And I know for sure is I put a little interest in there, so definitely I paid it all back. You throw a little interest in there, that definitely, I'm glad I did it too, because that definitely means I paid it all back. You know, so that's the difference between me and my brother. People can talk about catching felonies and everything, but how are you about paying money in the streets? Because you're gonna need some at some point. If you live a certain way, you know what I'm saying. And if you're used to certain things, you're gonna need some money when you ain't got it. At some point, we ain't always gonna be on top. So what you gonna do? You're gonna need money at some point. And then we see what you made of. You know what he made of? He owed his mom money, and here's the punchline. He owed his mom money and then went and bought his wife some clothes. Do you think me and him the same? No, we not the same, man. When I owe people money, when I owe this dude money, I went without. I did. And you just got that money and you looking at, and you think about other things you could be doing, or other things, that's how it's gonna happen, other things you could, but then you pride yourself. This will always keep me in check. I pride myself on paying my street dues. Money you owe in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So like I got that credibility right here in New York. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference, bro. That's why I tell people, man, being real is not just no pulling no guns. That's for little niggas, man. Being real is about paying your dues, paying your tabs, stuff like that. Now you talking. Now you talking, buddy. You paying your money back in the streets, but your brother owed your mother money, but then he went and bought his wife clothes. See, he loved this woman that much. And then here's his karma. She was attracted to me. Now you see, can't you believe why he would do that because of her? Look how much he loved her. To the point where he didn't even pay his mom back money. That's how much he loved her. Now you don't think he was mad when she was attracted to me? Of course he was. He was tricking off on her, and I was the dude with the flavor. So she was attracted to me. That's how it is. I was the brother with the flavor. I'm the brother with the flavor, and I ain't even try to holler at her, talk to her. I wasn't even thinking like that. And she was attracted to me. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't live with it. So then he just crashed out, basically. He just crashed out. You know what I'm saying? Put my cousin in prison, start treating my mama funny, you know, doing me wrong, putting my name out here crazy in the streets. You telling me that person deserves to live? You telling me he deserves to live? How he treated his mother? Everything. I'm looking at the whole thing. Borrowing money from your mom and then don't pay it back when you get it. When you get it, you go buy clothes for your wife. Imagine how my mom felt when she found that out. That's a trick, man. He a trick. He tricking off. You can't trick off in a marriage and get respect. You can do things where people look at you like you tricking off. Not that you supporting your wife, you tricking off, bro. That's how I see it. You tricking off, man. For real. You know what I'm saying? You owe your mom money, bruh, and you can't pay her back. Your wife can wear the same dirty drawers. I don't care. Wear them same drawers. Wash them and wear them out. Wear them again. Get you some socks. Wash your socks. Take a little bundle. Go wash your clothes. And wear them same jeans, shirts, or whatever. We gonna thug it out. You know what I'm saying? And then when we gonna get money again. And when we get money again, we'll get you, some little things to look nice in or whatever. But right now, we gotta see you when you're a real man. That's what you do. Right now, we got. I'm gonna pay my mom back because she looked out for us. Because I know that benefited her. The wife, whatever. My mom. He owed my mom. That benefited her the first time. Then he got money and it benefited her the second time. See, he was tricking off. That's tricking off, bro. Man, come on, man. That is, bro. That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to hear nothing about that dude. As you can imagine, I don't want to hear nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting you know why. This is why. This is all the reasons why. It's only in the movies where a younger brother is out doing the older brother. See, a clown of a community like y'all is gonna look at it that way. That's a clown sitting up trying to play these games like the younger brother's gonna beat the older brother. That's some clown stuff, bruh. In real life, most cases, the bigger older brother is gonna be the best. That's just how it is. Because the younger brother gonna get all his swag and sauce from his brother, his drip from his brother. I ain't getting nothing from him. Yo, imagine that. So then imagine you as a real nigga just listen to the younger brother. You turn to a cartoon, didn't you? Because a real nigga gonna know, I'm gonna see what the older brother about. And then he gonna tell me all these stories about, now you see what I'm saying? All these stories about what happened and all this stuff. Now you're hearing the real. Now you're hearing the truth. Now you see what I'm saying? You played yourself, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. You listen to him. You listen to the younger brother. You played yourself. Ain't no way out of it. That's all I'm saying. All you're doing is making matters worse. Because now God is on my side. Here's the bad part for you. Because I could be alone in this situation. It's a lot of men that die alone in their situations. They don't have God in their situation. I do have God in my situation. And that's the bad news for you as a community. Because it's a lot of men, and this is what'll deceive you. It's a lot of men who don't have God in their situation. And they just die. And the world goes on. And the Bible talks about this. The world goes on. And men die. Okay? But then I can show you in the Bible where one man will live while everybody die. That's not the game you want to play. You don't want to play the game of who lives when I'm with God and y'all not. That's not the game you want to play, buddy. You're playing yourself once again. Listen, man, I wouldn't have came out here listening to somebody that I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. That's why I don't feel sorry for you. I wouldn't have came out here listening to somebody I don't know like that. Who does that? I don't know nobody who do that. Who does that, man? You listen to somebody and you halfway know this person. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who that person is. And then he was diagnosed as schizophrenic paranoid. My mom told me that. My brother was diagnosed as schizophrenic paranoid, which is one of the worst mental sickness diagnoses. I ain't never been diagnosed with no mental sickness. So then you put that together. You listen to somebody that is schizophrenic paranoid, bro. Listen, man. You can't believe nothing he talking about. You can't trust none of no narratives or nothing. You can't trust none of that, man. I hate to tell you. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you tell me this person's schizophrenic paranoid, okay. First of all, then I feel the real need to let you know everything that's being said, because I don't know what this person done told us, and you don't know. And you can't think that you know. I can't think I know. Somebody schizophrenic paranoid, I don't know what he told you. I don't know. He is schizophrenic paranoid. That's who you listen to. And that's the punchline, and that's the checkmate. You listen to a sick person, bro. You listen to a person that's schizophrenic paranoid. That's why he put you in this situation. He didn't care. He felt like my brother had his laptop shut down because he was trying to go to top secret government websites. He was going into trying to look into the government and trying to find out things they was doing. They shut his laptop down. My mom said she saw it. That whatever he was trying to do, the government shut his laptop down, bro. This is what he was doing with as a schizophrenic paranoid with his laptop, to the point where they shut his laptop down. So the government was already watching that boy. He went to whoever he went to, and he wanted to destroy, I believe this, he wanted to destroy secret societies by making God's kingdom fight y'all, and that's what he did. He pitted me and you against each other, and whoever won, he wouldn't care, because he was mad because his wife was attracted to me. So if I died, he wouldn't have cared, and if you died, he wouldn't have cared, because he was already looking into government conspiracies and things like that, and he wanted to get rid of Freemasons and Illuminati. I figured it out. Yep. He wanted to get rid of it. So if you're smart, you follow me. If he pitted us against each other, whoever died, he would not care, because he was seeking to find information out about the government, to the point where they shut down his laptop. They shut down his laptop. My mom seen it. She said she seen it. Not like, a virus got on it. No. They shut it down. That means he was going into some top secret stuff. So with that mindset, he probably thought, okay, well, I'm going to tell you the whole story. He wanted to kill himself by either me killing him, or secret societies killing him, or we killing each other. And he wanted to make me famous because he knew I didn't do anything. He knew I was innocent. In the context of innocence, he wanted to make me famous, and if I survive, I will be famous, and my music will be out there, and I will be out there. Because he told me, because he tried to have sex with one of my women, right? He told me he was gonna make it up for me, make it up to me. If you felt I really wronged you in the context of wronging somebody, you would have said, we're even, not I'm gonna make it up to you. The way he wanted to make it up to me was to try to make me famous, and that's why he used y'all. It took a long time to figure this out. And he figured that either once we realized what he done, I would want to kill him, or you would want to kill him. And this is how he wanted to kill himself, because his wife had betrayed him. He didn't have the balls to kill himself, so he set up an elaborate plan for us to kill each other, or for one of us to kill the other one, and then come after him. He knew he was gonna figure it all out, because he know how smart I am. I figured it out, and just like his plan, he know we want him dead. So instead of killing himself, That's how he wanted to die. By one of us, whether it was our side or the Freemasons or all them secret societies over there, y'all turning around and realizing, like we are now, one of us killing him because he didn't have the heart to kill himself, because he didn't want to live after this woman. You got to remember how in love he was. He was in love with this woman. In the strongest sense of the term and word. Maybe you've never been in love. Okay, for those who have, okay, he was in love with this woman. Romance, doing stuff for her, candy, flowers, all the works, these surprises, doing little surprise stuff for her, all that stuff. Everything you can think about, like what a man would do for a woman that he could afford to do on a decent level. He was in love with this woman. Okay? She betrayed him by being attracted to me. It crushed him. He decided to, because he knew I wasn't guilty of it, it was her fault. But he didn't really know if we were together. I had sex with her. I don't know how he didn't know, but he decided to try to pay me back because of that. At the same time, he was in the works of seeing what the government was doing, and he thought I could fight them. Like what happened? They came after me and I fought back. He knew that was going to happen. He thought about this. He knew this was going to happen. I was going to fight back, and I overcame. And it was a win-win situation for him, because he felt the secret societies was against him because he's schizophrenic paranoid. See that? Schizophrenic paranoid. Pretty sure he thought the government was against him. Pretty sure he thought that the secret societies was against him. So he thought to infiltrate, give them information enough to run after me. He knew God was with me. My brother knew how much I fasted. He knew everything about me spiritual. He knew if you came after me, it was going to be a war, and it was. He ain't stupid. He's foolish, but he's not stupid. He pit us against each other, and he knew also that I would be famous, finally famous after this situation, and that's what happened. He thought that I deserved to be famous, just like Havoc from Mobb Deep. Everybody, it's more. He's not the only one, and so he thought he was just doing the right thing. He was forcing it to happen, no matter what. That kind of mentality, that you deserve to be famous, and I don't care what it takes, and I'm going to just mess over this country. I'm going to do a lot of crazy stuff, but you're going to be famous. Like that. And that's how he felt he was paying me back. He got rid of y'all by y'all playing with me. He found out things about America that I don't even know. Probably, I don't know what it was, but he wanted to fight America. So he felt like he would pit us against each other, and God would be on my side like he was, and I would win. And so now you see why it all happened. And if you killed him, he still wouldn't be losing because he wanted to kill himself. So then, see, it was a win-win situation for him. Smart. And listen, I know my brother well enough to know that's what it was. Okay? You being arrogant, thinking you know people, is why you a clown. Okay? I don't assume to know any of your family members. How I know who they are? I'm going to listen to the person that lived with this person. I'm going to listen to this person that listened to hours and hours of talking to this person. I'm not, because right now it's going to be fake. He's in game mode now. You ain't going to know nothing. Especially if he's diagnosed as schizophrenic paranoid. How would you know the truth? Stupid. I'm telling you, this is what happened. Okay? Now, if you want to be a clown from this day forward, listen, I can't help you. I can't help you. I gave you invaluable information. You ain't gonna be. You can go to the ends of the world and they gonna find this information. I'm the only one that's gonna tell you this, because look, even my mom, she ain't gonna tell you everything because she don't want you to hurt him. So she ain't gonna tell you, even when he put hands on her and she had to get a restraining order to get him out the house. She ain't gonna tell you all of that. You wouldn't. In other words, you wouldn't have got this information from nobody else. You wouldn't know. Not in my family. How would they know? My mom is too private. She ain't tell nobody else in the family. So you couldn't have found it out from my cousins, because we ain't that close to the family like that. I'm your only shot for you to know the truth. You wouldn't have knew the truth if it wasn't for me. No. How? Well, my mom is private. My family is private as it is. You wouldn't have found it out. We ain't a big family. Our family is less than 30 members. How you would have found out? My dad's side don't know nothing about my brother and my mom and all of that. And they don't know nothing about my brother. How would you have found out? You're taking for granted the information I'm giving you. You wouldn't have found this out. That my mom had to get a restraining order to get him out the house. She wouldn't have told nobody that. And you wouldn't have found it out from no one. You take for granted all the information I'm giving you. This is why I'm telling you, man, listen, you played yourself like a clown thinking you know stuff about other people. I don't respect no real nigga that think talking about they real and they sitting up with a big old head talking about they know what they know. How you know something about somebody else's family? I can't stand people like that. How you know? I ain't never assumed to know something about somebody else's family and people and everything. I'm going to listen to everything that this person is telling me. And I'm going to put it all together. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's why I'm telling you, this is what this is all about. So that's why, man, listen, I don't take no competitors. I done been through all of this. As you can see all this stuff I've been through, even my marriage, everything. I don't take no competitors. I don't take no clowns thinking they playing with me. And now you see why I'm like that. That's the conclusion. You see why I don't take no competitors. I just move on. People think they playing in my face and playing with me, and they think they're going to play this little cartoon Mickey Mouse game. Listen, buddy. Listen. I'm going to leave you right here by yourself. I already done made arrangements to leave here and go to another place and that can help me get housing and everything, and people can knock themselves out right here by themselves. Listen, that's me being professional. I don't let people play in my lane for free, and I know for sure that you ain't been through half of the stuff I've been through. You have not. You have not. And therefore, I'm not going to let you play like you even competition for somebody like me. You not. You not. In your dreams, you competition for me. In real life, bro, listen, man, everybody who really know me from California, not even mentioning California, from California all the way back here, man, know for sure you playing yourself thinking you anything near me. You definitely playing yourself, little buddy. So then I got to do what I got to do, man. I got to bow out gracefully. It's got to be me. I got to do it because you don't know who I am, right? I do. And I know for sure ain't no way you could be on my level. You just can't. So guess what I got to do? Because I know what's going on and you really don't. I got to bow out gracefully for my self-respect. I can't let people play with me, man, in this building and in this neighborhood right here just cause off the strength of Brooklyn. Brooklyn ain't done what I've done. Brooklyn ain't talking about no child marriage laws in America. So I done went to the higher ranks of exposing things like that, buddy. Yeah. Brooklyn ain't done that. Brooklyn, show me one dude in Brooklyn that done that. Show me one woman in Brooklyn that has done that. So then you just bringing up a name of Brooklyn. Brooklyn ain't done nothing that I've done. So it ain't no need to bring it up. It ain't no need to show me all the stuff you've done in your history because it's irrelevant to what I'm doing and what I have done. Okay, I don't care nothing about what Brooklyn is. I don't care. You just another community to me in America. That's it. That's going by the same principles that I'm going by. And if you got a head on your shoulders, you listen, buddy, you know you played yourself in this situation. And listen, just because you're from Brooklyn don't mean nothing. It ain't going to change nothing. It ain't going to change nothing because you're from Brooklyn. So what? It's not going to change a thing. And you ain't going to get on top of me either because you're from Brooklyn. Listen, that don't mean you can see me either because you're from Brooklyn. I'm just being real with you. Because I'm one of them dudes, listen, I'm nationwide, first of all. I lived in LA, I lived in Los Angeles. Listen, you ain't going to be able to see me just being from Brooklyn. Because I know half of y'all scared to go to Los Angeles. You scared to go to Los Angeles on any level because of all the stuff you seen on TV and the things you heard in the music and the culture and the gang culture and the Bloods and the Crips over there. You scared to go to LA. Okay, so imagine you being on my level when you scared to go to Los Angeles. And I done been there. Done got food stamps there. Done lived there, ate there. That part. Not just passing through, went and got food stamps. Went to the wine guard. You wouldn't even know what the wine guard is. Okay? You don't even know what the wine guard is. Okay? So this is over. This whole little corny community over around me is over. You played yourself because you the same community and won't go to California. Okay? So then come on, man. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. Until I'm gonna tell you, Brooklyn, outside of secret societies, until you do what I do, you ain't on my level. Until you go to California, you can't see me. When you go to California, then you on my level. You don't get to just sit here in Brooklyn and talk and be a man like me. You gotta go move around. You gotta come out your comfort zone. You gotta go where people don't love you and get respect. You gotta go with nobody, you don't know nobody, and get respect. You gotta come up in streets and going through streets and get money and get food and feed and survive in places where they don't know you. Then you on my level. You being right here in Brooklyn with your feet kicked up. Listen, buddy, I'm sorry. You can't see me. You dreaming. And that's for dudes outside of secret societies. That's outside of that. When you go to Los Angeles, when you go to California, then you get back to me. That's real. That's what I'm supposed to say. I'm supposed to say that. You ain't never been to California one day in your life and you think you're going to stand around and huddle around like you some big shot around me. You tripping. Yeah, you can't see me, buddy. That's why Jay-Z had to go to California. Because you can't be the full boss until you do it. He had to. He couldn't just stay on the East Coast and then everybody respect him on the West Coast. You got to go over there and get respect over there. You got to. You can't. You ain't. It's two different leagues. Local leagues, and nationwide leagues. A nationwide soldier is different from a local soldier. You ain't never been to Florida with all them rednecks and all of that. I've been through that too. Down there in Florida with all them crazy people. Down south with all them crazy rednecks and stuff. You don't know who against you. All the conspiracy against you down there. That's all I'm saying, man. You ain't gonna listen. You listen. Before I leave here, I want you to know, bro. Look, you never could see me. You tripping because you ain't gonna listen because you didn't go to California. I got a California ID. That's how you know I've been to California. I don't got a New York ID or a North Carolina ID. I got a California ID, which means I also went to the DMV. Put it all together, sucker. That's all I'm saying. And that's for shooters, killers, and everything. That don't mean you nationwide. You got to go to California to be on my level. I don't care nothing about you being a drug dealer, a shooter, or any of that. That does not validate you as nationwide. You're not a nationwide soldier. We don't know if you're scared of the West Coast until you go there. I've been from the West Coast back to here, back again, all over again. You still here in Brooklyn. That's not enough. That's not enough for you to see me. That's outside of the secret society. And the reason why I'm saying this to you, because you will sit back like you a committee over me, like I'm subject to you. But how I'm subject to you when you ain't never been to Los Angeles? Come on, let's be reasonable. I've been too many places. Even Biggie went to LA. Even Biggie went to California. You know what I'm saying? If you never done it, bruh, listen, man, listen. Me and you are two different animals, and that's for sure, bruh. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's for sure. Until you go to LA and you get in with the whole community of Los Angeles, then you get back to me, homie. That's all I'm saying.